welcome to the DP World PGTI Players Championship from the Classic Golf and Country Club in New Haryana as we dive into round 3 action. राम राम भाई सारा ने आ जाओ सारे के सारे हरियाणा में because this is where we are witnessing some sensational golf as we are in the DP World PGTI calendar. In fact, if we talk about this particular tournament, well, round 2 really saw 5 players shooting a 6 under par score or less, and we are all set for a great finish. To discuss all that and today's proceedings, I have with me 2 golfers in the Indian professional golfers list, former golfers of course, and of course 2 voices that you've been enjoying in the com box as well. I have Rahul Bajaj and Shaurya Singh. Ram Ram, aap dono ko bhi. Good morning and welcome. How is it going for both of you?
Ram Ram, it's absolutely fantastic. Of course, it is extremely hot out here, 38 degrees, and wind is up on the golf course at 14 kmph. But Dhruv Shoran has surely gotten off to a very, very hot start, has made 4 birdies on the trot on that front nine. So, interesting days ahead.
You know, I want to talk about Dhruv Shoran in just a bit, but Rahul, if I can quickly take your comments on Akshay Sharma. You see his charge, who was at 9 under at the start of the day, and a birdie on the final hole yesterday, which put him on the top. So, if you can assess his chances for us today?
See, he has already gotten off to a pretty sedate start. He's only made 1 birdie on that front nine thus far, only 1 under par. He's 4 shots away from the leader, who is actually going off on a complete run. And Sunit Chaurasia is also trying to really catch up with him at this moment. So Akshay, better get some putts going on that back nine. Yeah, he did so yesterday, so hopefully he can do the same today.
So Shaurya, as far as Akshay is concerned, things are not going as per plan, at least as of now on this day. But Dhruv Shoran, Rahul started talking about him. He jumped 6 places to be the joint leader after 2 days. So you think has a good measure of the greens with the 6 birdies and an eagle that he got under his belt?
You know, first off, I must say good morning and of course, Ram Ram Sare Bhaiya. And you spoke, being a country cousin, it's very nice to hear the mother tongue once again.
Flawless Haryanvi.
Flawless. So of course, I'm not going to compete there because manne kate bera na hai. You know, mine is still getting just about there to pass.
I can give you some lessons.
But of course, right after air. But I must say that golf has been really good thus far. Conditions are perfect. It's a little oppressive, but these are the kind of conditions that long hitters really thrive in.
Yes.
It's nice and firm here at the Classic Golf and Resort. No rough so as to speak of. And Dhruv Shoran, you spoke about, he hits the ball really a country mile. And really on song. And it'll be difficult to beat him because he has a lot of pedigree. But of course, Jamal, we've seen Jamal that he's been performing on again and again. And Sunit, of course, come back 1 decade after that injury, won on the Next Gen Tour. So I think we have the best of the best here, and it's a little difficult to call any at this point in time, but what we can be certain of is birdies and droves.
All right. So we are definitely looking forward to that. But I think we've put together a video for, showing to our viewers Dhruv's putting. In fact, the way he was performing on day 2 was great. He jumped 6 places to be the joint leader. I will get our viewers all of that. But both of you, I think, mentioned about Sunit Chaurasia. So Rahul, let's get your word in on him. Sunit Chaurasia and Shukra Bahadur Rai. He's the golfer from Nepal. They jumped 12 places to be placed tied second. What about their chances now on day 3?
You know, most importantly, Sunit has just come off a next-gen victory. So he is, and also he's coming off an injury. So I see Sunit as a very strong contender. He's currently 11 under par. He's only 2 shots shy of the lead at this point in time. But coming off that next-gen victory, also coming off that injury, which has actually kept him away from golf, if I'm not wrong, for over 2 years. He's a youngster, hungry for more. So he's someone that I'd be looking out for. And Shukra Bahadur Rai, we haven't really seen him in this position very often, but Shukra currently is at 8 under par for the tournament. He's a long shot away. He will need a really blistering round on that back nine.
Right. So Jamal Hussain is someone, Shaurya, that you mentioned just a short while ago. So let's extend our conversation on him as well. He finished 5 under joint leader, and it was an error-free round from him. Yesterday, he finished 2 under with 3 bogeys, though. So you are looking at someone who is due for a good outing, but is that coming this week? Because it's been quite an up and down sort of a ride for him.
He's really been consistent over the years. You know, he's been a picture of consistency all throughout the last 2-3 years on the DP World Professional Golf Tour of India. And so it can be his week because the conditions would be very favorable. He's not one of the longest hitters, but he's very proficient, great putter. and has his own kind of technique. When you look at it, it's not everything is not doesn't really look like it falls in place. But believe you me, the scorecard. That's why they say it's a scorecard, not a postcard. Ain't gotta look
Yeah,
pretty,
yeah.
but he gets it done. So I'm pretty certain he'll still shoot his 4 or 5 unders. If that's gonna be good enough to unseat somebody like Dhruv, who's just a notch above, is going to be seen, So he's definitely going to shoot 7, 8 under par cumulatively over the last 2 days. But, the players are really going to get hot. There's a lot of pedigree, even lower down. We see the likes of Himmat Singh Rai, 7, 8 shots behind. And, we're spoiled for choice. I'm having to go back to the scorecard. We have from Taiga, Tanaka-san from the land of the rising sun,
Yeah.
He's there as well. You have, of course, Sukra Bahadur Rai.
In fact, we
so
will talk
many.
about all those golfers as I want to lead into the leaderboard. Let's see how things are heating up on the leaderboard, and I'll need the help from both of you, or rather your mobile phones, to run us through the leaderboard right now. How does it look, Rahul, if we look at the top 10, in the leaderboard?
Well, at this point in time, Dhruv Sharan leads the way at 13 under par. He's 4 under par for the day today. Sunit Chaurasia from Calcutta is at 11 under. And Jamal Akshay both tied up at 10 under par. So it's getting pretty crowded up there. Mohammad Sanju, Viraj Madappa and Harman Sachdeva, as well as Maniram and Sukra Bahadur Rai, all at a tie for the 5th position, going all the way up till the 9th. And the 10th position is Om Prakash Chauhan at 7 under par. I think at this point in time, any of these players has a shot at this. It's just a matter of who's going to get that putter going hot on the back nine.
Right, and Shaura, going by the action that you've seen on the first 2 days, and of course today's as well in the action that we've seen so far, any surprises in that leaderboard for you, or it's going as predicted?
There are a few names that have come up. Mani Ram, very nice, affable journeyman professional, always with a smile on his face. Good to see him at 8 under par. And he almost won a tournament, not many people know, 2-3 years ago. But right at the end, gave it away. So, that's a personal Cinderella story that I would like to see work out. Apart from that, no surprises. Another person I would like to mention, Om Prakash Chauhan. He is one of the players who played well at the recently concluded Indian Open. Really good player. And you can see the flags of our associate sponsors. Everybody, they're fluttering. And that is a augurs.
Welcome breeze for us as well.
And that augurs for the rest of the day. What's going to happen? It's going to get a little testy.
Yeah.
No surprises. Maybe, I would just have to say Mani Ram if he finally gets that monkey off his back.
All right. So on that note, in fact, like that you've mentioned the breeze hitting the flags in our setup, let's also give our viewers an update on the weather as it stands today, because this is something that, in fact, counts as testing conditions for our golfers playing in the heat. So let's take a look at the weather as it stands today. 35 degrees is the temperature right now, and 14% humidity is what we are recording at the golf club, and wind speed is 14 kilometers per hour. So that's not too bad, Rahul. You would reckon 35 degrees. We are coming from Hyderabad. It was 40 there, almost touching 40. This should be a little better.
Well, absolutely. It is a little bit better.
But it feels 45.
And Hyderabad, certainly, does it?
Right now, are we not sitting under the sun?
I think on the course, really speaking, Hyderabad would have been much hotter owing to, the soil that is there. It does emanate a lot more heat back at the player when they're walking around on the golf course. So, of course, the course over here is also fantastic. So that always eases the pain off. And the breeze, as you mentioned, 14% humidity. The breeze is up there. Course is, nice and flush to play. Players are going to have a good time, no matter how hot it gets.
Well, we also need to have that good time. It's just that I'm waiting for some shade now.
I would like to add, I think Rahul has ice running in his veins.
Looks
He's
like
not
that.
feeling the heat in this. He says it's a perfect jaunt in perfect weather. But
Right.
I'll tell you, it doesn't feel that warm on the golf course because the birdies are going to be there to keep company.
Right. So on that note, let's take a look at the groups that are going to be in focus today. We'll start with group number 7. And of course, this group consists of Mani Ram, Himmat Singh Rai and Harman Sachdeva. Shaurya, you've already spoken about Mani Ram and Himmat Singh Rai. A word on Harman Sachdeva as well in this group?
Yeah, he's really somebody who's coming up and has the talent to get it done. Of course, now how he's going to react to these situations, because they're sort of new for him. So a lot is going to be dictated by how he does on the proverbial moving day, which is today. So if he can sort of keep the pace and get to double digits under par, you never know. There's always a new winner every other week.
Right. And now let's talk about group number 8. In fact, this is the group that teed off before group 7. And we also have Jamal Hussain, who started at 7 under. Then Japan's Taiga Tanaka at 8 under, along with Nepal's Shukra Bahadur Rai at the same score. But I'm sure all of these have changed as we proceed with this day. So group 8, and your thoughts, Rahul, on that?
So Jamal Hussain currently at 12 under par for the tournament, only one shot shy of Dhruv Sharan. So he is also bringing up the heat along with all that 35 degrees and the 45 feelings that you're feeling from the heat. That's also, a contributor to that. And Shukra Bahadur Rai hasn't really been able to, to make a charge today. He's currently at 6 under par, has dropped off 8 positions on that leaderboard. And Taiga Tanaka just about picking up one shot to come back to 7 under par and find himself a little spot temporarily inside that top 10, unless he can pull off more birdies. So the only player in that group right now who's really bringing on some heat is Jamal Hussain.
All right, on that note, let's quickly take a look at group number 9 then. It features Sunit Chaurasia, who started overnight at 8 under. There's Akshay Sharma and Dhruv Sharan as well, who began the round at 9 under. Shaurya?
So this group, in all likelihood, the winner is going to emerge from here. Sunit has been really good, and of course, as Rahul mentioned, coming back from an injury, they say, the adage, beware of the injured golfer. He's back, and he's ready for redemption. He's already having won on the next gen tour, so I might have my money on him. And of course, Dhruv is going to be somebody who's going to perform, and Akshay Sharma is a seasoned campaigner, winner many times over on the PGTI. So it's going to be a very interesting mix. And so the winner most probably will come out of this group. But of course, they're going to feed off each other's energy. Like Dhruv is sort of leading the pack. And I think they're going to just follow and try and make more birdies.
Right. And Rahul, your thoughts on these two really as we summarize the group 9?
I certainly agree with whatever Shaurya has said about this group. You are going to see a lot more happening between Dhruv, Jamal and Sunit Chaurasia as the day moves on. But do not count out Akshay Sharma. He is a very, very fierce competitor.
Yeah.
So coming into that back nine, which he actually blistered through yesterday, he might actually do the same today. And having said that, there's still 27 holes to go, and the masala and the drama has to carry on.
Okay, we are also hoping for that masala and drama to carry on, but no tadka in this sun really as of now for us. But quickly, I want to know from both of you, we are in the last tournament before we go into the mid-season break. So it's clearly been an opportunity for all our golfers to make the most of, when they came out on the circuit. What do you make of this season so far, Shaurya? What are your thoughts on it?
I think this has been a breakout season. The association of DP World with Professional Golf Tour of India has really been a shot in the arm. And I think with benefactors as such, golfers only go from strength to strength. We're seeing that in the scoring. We're seeing in the depth of talent that we have. The internationals, that's very important to mention. We also saw the recently concluded league. So there are a lot of firsts that have happened this year. And if this, the first half is anything to go by, I think the next one is going to be a roller coaster. So I'm very excited to see how the players are doing. Yeah. And you had Shubhankar. You have legends of Indian golf. Shubhankar Sharma come back to
Hyderabad,
motherland and win here once again. And, I say, motivate the troops. So I'd say the sky is the limit for Indian golf.
Well, that's the fact, Rahul. DP World PGTI giving immense exposure to not just young Indian golfers, but also for the veterans on the tour, really, to, come back here, make a statement, and also lead with example.
Well, to veterans, do you mean me and Shaurya? Because
well, समझदार को इशारा काफी है.
So, absolutely. I think that DP World PGTI, the association between them, as well as, Axis Bank coming on, we've got Kalyani coming on, as supporters of the tour over here. I think that sky is the limit for Indian golf. At this point in time, there are a lot of opportunities for professional golfers across in India and also from abroad to come in over here and play. And that's what we see in a lot of international names that have started to come onto the Indian golf courses to ply their trade. You are going to see a lot more of that happening. And I think that all of this is only going to go from strength to strength as we move on from this half of the season and into the second half, which will be even more interesting.
Right. And before I let our veterans go, I want to take the predictions here for day 3. Shaurya, how would you go about it? What are your predictions?
First of all, I think I take umbrage to the term veterans. I still have a little bit of gas in the tank. I think,
So I started by fumbling on your introduction, calling you professional golfers.
Yeah, I
So
know.
you can perhaps once again prove me wrong.
You know, it's very difficult. I just think about Mithun Pereira, a pro golfer who left 2 years ago and came back again. It's
So,
a
yeah.
bug that you can't just keep away from yourself. So that being said, yeah, first of all, we want to thank all the associates. You know, everybody, right from Amul, NLite, Amritanjan. So, the list goes on and on. Campa.
Yes.
The fizz which you need on a day like this. Go have your Amul milk in the morning, deposit your money in Axis, and then perform. Yeah. If I missed any sponsor, please remember I'll take the names during on air. But I must say that it's good to see the associations that we have. Callaway is associated with the tour, so it's a great place to be in. And golf, just like our honorable Prime Minister's vision, Khelo Abhiyan, it's going from strength to strength. We saw Aditya Ashok almost winning a medal. We have this fine young man, a medalist in the Asian Games. So there's so much that Indian golf is going to do and is doing. So I, for one, am just excited to be here.
Yeah, and a word in Haryanvi perhaps on your predictions maybe.
My predictions. By gana sochna padega, but as I said, I don't want to expose my lack of knowledge, so I'll just go with the first one. I'll say ki abhi te mane kate bera nase.
Let's translate that for our viewers. As of now, he's not going to predict anything because things are moving very fast, I think, on the leaderboard. Rahul, let me ask you for your predictions. Do you have anything in mind that you would want to convey to the viewers before we start with the combox?
Well, I do think that it's going to be extremely interesting over the next 27 holes. Dhruv Shoran has been playing really well, and you're going to be seeing a lot many more birdies coming off him. He did not quite get the finish that he wanted last week, so he is also trying to get that victory. And like, Shaurya said some time back, trying to get that monkey off his back. So is he, not only Maniram. And, having said that, it's not going to be easy to fend off Jamal, Suneet and Akshay. But that's what makes this whole thing interesting. That's what makes this a sport. Let's see who keeps running.
All right. In fact, we are just about preparing for some, scintillating action on the golf course. It's going on since 8:35 a.m. today. That's when we started. At the moment, Leaderboard and both of our commentators also tracking it here from our studio setup. I'm going to hand it over to both of you before we go across to our commentators in just a bit. Maybe you can just talk a bit more about the Leaderboard and how it's proceeding right now, Shaurya.
Well, as we speak, Dhruv obviously still has a vice grip on the tournament, 2-shot lead over Jamal. Then you have Suneet, who's also coming along really well, 2 shots behind. MD Sanju is a name, another professional who's been there doing really well. Harman, the young lad that we spoke of. And Manoj, one of the best talents to have emerged out of Indian golf. Precocious youngster, maybe only of 16 or 17 at the age that we were in school, being nefarious. He's already here trying to win tournaments. So it tells you. And of course, the name Taiga Tanaka, just for his name, I find that is a name built for success. When you have a name like Taiga. So he's there, and Himmat Rai, I think. And rounding up the top 10 is Abhinav Lohan, Anshul Kaptial. And, so there's a lot of talent on display.
Taiga Tanaka to me sounds almost like an MMA fighter, doesn't he? He looks like he's out there to get someone. But yes, he hasn't quite gotten it started out today. But as you've already mentioned, top of the leaderboard, very crowded. I think it's going to be extremely interesting. 27 holes. So stay tuned with us and watch all of this action going on live just in a few minutes.
Yeah, I'd say don't miss a minute of the action. A lot of birdies coming your way. And it's going to be thick and fast, the action coming here.
Right. In fact, for all the action which is, at the moment taking shape on the golf course, let's go across to our commentators, Nikhil Kalan and Shivas Nath. Over to both of you.
Okay, very good morning to all our viewers. We are bringing you live action from the DP World Players Championship being played here at the Classic Golf and Country Club in Nuh, Haryana. And on your screen, you have Jamal Hussain, who was the leader after the first round. And Shukra Bahadur Rai. Over to you, Shivas. We are here with Shivas Nath, my fellow commentator. It's over to him now.
Well, thank you, Nikhil. And great start to pre-show hosts, Preeti, Rahul, and Shaurya. Well, you got us off to a great start, a good flyer. And Nikhil and me here now in the commentary box, enjoying the lovely 35-degree weather here in Manesar, and of course the very picturesque Classic Golf Resort, the Jack Nicklaus Signature Golf Course, the only one of its kind in India. And yes, we have Sukar Bahadur Rai lining up for a birdie. Nice little pre-shot routine, very deliberate as we see. And a lot going on today on the top of the leaderboard. Dhruv Shiran, 4 under after his first 8 holes. That's a lovely putt, great lag stroke. And, well, the caddy and player with a small little high five. And we, of course, move on to the wily Hussain, who, as Nikhil mentioned, was our leader after round 1. And he dropped a bit off the pace, but he's moved up 4 spots today and is solely, well, not solely, but rather tied in second place at 11 under, along with Sunil Chaurasia.
That's right, Shivas. And what else can you ask for? You start the day with a birdie on the screen. And Jamal Hussain on your screen now reading the green there. He's been fairly consistent in recent times and looking to break a long victory drought now. 11 under at the moment.
Very interesting. This group, we've already had a couple of birdies, and Jamal would make 3 out of 3. The 10th hole, I would say a strong little 400-yarder. A narrow green, strategy required to hit it close, hit it tight, and he misses that. He's not happy. He's certainly not happy. And that is something that he would have dearly wanted, because that would have moved him to 12 under, and you know, very important to match Sunil Chaurasia. It's good, Nikhil, to see Sunil Chaurasia back on the tour. He had some injury woes, and it's lovely to see him back in the mix after a long time.
That's right. He had a career-threatening injury, and he has made his way back with a win on the DP World PGTI Next Gen, our pathway to the DP World PGTI main tour. He won an event after a long break and getting back after a long injury layoff.
Yep, he's got the big stick out. He launches that. And you know, that's something that I absolutely love about this beautiful sport. You know, injuries for any sports people, you know, will happen. It's just par for the course. But you know, the resilience and the grit and the ability to bounce back. You know, just to stay true to your craft, true to your dreams, find your way back. One of our, again, you know, guys on the leaderboard, Viraj Madappa, himself had again, a career-threatening back injury a couple of seasons ago. So it's really nice to see, you know, young players, of course, who get the injuries but fight their way back to form and start playing good golf again at an elite level.
Absolutely, Akshay Sharma there, and we've got a ball follow for him. This is the 10th tee. The leader group, Akshay, the joint leader yesterday, he seems to be all right with that tee shot, wearing a number of floral outfits nowadays. Akshay, you always see him in very bright colors on the course.
You know, it's really lovely, you know, how you know, some of the players are quite expressive with their clothing, Nikhil. I talk about floral colors. There was a bit of a subtle version of that on Jamal Hussain as well. Equally floral, but not quite as bright. There you have it. Young Dhruv Shiran staring that down. Seems to have, you know, wonderful tee shot. Oh yes, yes indeed. Prime position number 1.
Dhruv Shiran and Akshay Sharma, both part of the winning team in 72, the league, part of Rajasthan Regals, playing together here. I'm sure there'd be some camaraderie that they've developed over the last few months, having partnered each other in those 4 balls, you know, foursomes, and being part of that team, those team discussions.
You know, I couldn't agree more with you, Nikhil. It's something that, you know, 72, the league, aside from it obviously being outstanding for the game of golf and for the spectators, it actually made sure that a lot of the young players that we have from across different parts of the country and different parts of the world got to know each other in a far more competitive yet far more conducive environment where they hung out together, strategized together, fed off each other's knowledge and energy, etc., etc.
That's right. That's Taiga Tanaka, Japanese who's come on tour this year, DP World PGTI qualifying school graduate. And you see his tee shot now on the 11th, Taiga Tanaka. And a great ball follow there by our cameraman on the 11th.
You're so right, Nikhil. It's amazing to see how good the camera work has gotten over the last couple of seasons. All our cameramen, picking the right angles, getting the ball flight or the ball follow, as you call it, and we move on now, of course, to the group which has Tanaka, Bahadur Rai, and Jamal Hussain, which is now on the 11th, the 224-yard par 3. The pin, of course, here. Cut 20 from the front and just tucked in 4 from the right. Green depth, of course, is 31. So definitely this is going to favor a bit of a left to right shot pattern. And Tanaka, as you saw just a short while ago, very deliberate with his pre-shot routine, whether he's on the green or he's lining up a tee shot or a fairway shot.
That's right. On this hot day, what else can you ask for but Amul to cool off and rehydrate? You see the Amul board right behind Shukra, one of our main tour partners supporting the tour. And let's see what Shukra can manage here. Another great ball follow by our cameraman. It's gone a bit to the right.
Yes, he has left himself fairly short, but still very decent angle to get to the flag. And of course now onwards to the very colorful leader group. Back to the 10th hole. The leader group for our folks who just tuned in has Sunit Chaurasia, Akshay Sharma and Dhruv Shuran. Dhruv Shuran leading the pack at 13 under, the leader for the tournament. And Sunit Chaurasia hot on his heels at 12 under. Akshay Sharma, round 3 leader, is at 10 under. So it's all happening here. Just a few strokes separating the guys at the top. And anyone who's going to get hot and get low on the back nine will be the one taking this trophy home.
So Akshay has found the dance floor. You think he'll be happy with that distance?
Well, his expression didn't really give away much. But, I have a feeling he would have had to hit it a little tighter, a little closer. That's what he would have liked, because being 3 behind Dhruv, he does need to make a few things happen and quickly. Because, Dhruv's been a relentless worker. I actually follow him on Instagram. His handle is most engaging. Focuses a lot on the mental side of the game. Obviously, puts in a lot of work in the gym and, with the physical side as well as yoga and meditation. So, Dhruv definitely, as we say, in a bit of a zen mode and in, making a solid front runner right now.
And now we are back with Sunit Chaurasia, the legendary SSP Chaurasia's nephew. He mentioned to me that after winning the event on the next gen, he spoke to his uncle SSP, who gave him further encouragement. And SSP has been by his side, been encouraging him, supporting him through the tough times. That's what Sunit says, finally got him through. And he's looking good now. Had a few low rounds in the last few events.
You're so right, Nikhil. Sunit's been, a very explosive player, if I may say that. And look at that shot. It's an absolute beauty. Bit tough to keep that on the dance floor. It's a bit of a narrow green. But coming in downwind, it's always going to be hard, particularly when you're hitting a wedge out of the, the first cut of the rough. Can't put any spin on the ball.
That's right. You see the windy conditions. And what would you use from there? A putter or a wedge, Shivas?
I suspect he's going to go putter, because he's actually not very far, in terms of distance from the hole. It's just a very narrow green, and he's probably about 7 or 8 inches just over the back on the first cut.
And these are some of the trickiest chips, when the pin is close to you. I've seen those tutorials. They say these are the most tough chips to, be precise with.
You're absolutely right. And this one, he is coming downhill a bit into the wind, but I think, as long as, the grass and the texture sitting ahead of his ball is fairly even, and the ball looks like it's sitting up nicely, so there isn't really much to that. I'd fully expect him to putt that one. The one, of course, with the makeable birdie opportunity, you see Dhruv there. He's right there, probably about 10 feet away, with a very makeable birdie for sure. So back to Bahadur on the par 3 11th. He missed it right and a little bit short, but the ball sitting nice, and he's gonna, you can see he's opening up his wedge, gonna use the bounce and flip this up and then feed down to the hole. No.
Oh, he'll not be happy with that. He's left it short.
Definitely misjudged that, Nikhil. You're right. Now he's looking definitely at a drop shot there, because he's still going to have to chip that one. I can't see him putting that, and that's not an easy one because it's going to come off sharply off the right side.
That's right. Now, as you suggested, he is using the putter, Sunith, and taking his time reading the line. He's not too far though.
In the meantime, Viraj Madappa on the 9th hole has registered a double bogey 7 after 3 birdies in his first 4 holes, and that's dropped him back to 8 under. So that's definitely going to hurt him.
And Viraj had started off well. He was showing some promise, but
Didn't give it enough respect, and as we saw, pretty quick coming down. And there's not much work left. Still has about 2 feet, but that's pretty much bread and butter for these boys. So that's 7 going to hurt Viraj for sure. And interestingly, in the penultimate group, Sukra Bahadur Rai also made a 7 on the 9th hole. So I'm not really sure how they manage those 7s, but those are scores that are going to hurt them at the top of the leaderboard. Mohammed Sanju in the meantime has made an eagle on the 14th hole. So that's again some movement in the right direction, I would say.
so one Kolkata golfer dropping and the other rising. Mohammad Sanju and Viraj Madappa. That's the comparison. And you see one of the caddies there on the screen, Montu, a seasoned campaigner. He's been on the bag for Rashid Khan for many years.
Rashid not playing this week, is he?
He did.
He did? All right. Now we have Akshay Sharma. No. Also underreads it, and it slips by from the right, about a foot and a half past. You were asking a little while ago, Nikhil, about whether Akshay would be happy, and this is exactly what we were talking about. He needs to be hitting them closer or be making putts, and neither of which seems to be happening for him, unfortunately, today. Just 1 under for the day at the completion of 10 holes for him. And Dhruv, of course, now having had the benefit of seeing this, getting a sense of the speed and the break from the putts made by Sunith and Akshay. Let's see what our leader can do.
And he's waited a long time for his title. He last won in 2024 in Chennai. Dhruv Shoran. But he's had some good rounds in between, especially over the last 2 weeks on the DP World PGTI, and he's been there and thereabouts, knocking on the door. So a win is due, one would think, for Dhruv at this stage.
Has he made it? Indeed he has. He's walked it in. Well done, Dhruv. That's a very nice, confident walk. A little bit of bounce in his step there as well, Nikhil. And if I'm not mistaken, Dhruv was also the best Indian finisher at the DP World India Championships at the Delhi Golf Club in October last year, if I'm not
That's right.
mistaken.
That's right. He was one of the bright spots for India in that particular tournament. And yes, he started off really well and then grabbed a lot of attention through the week.
He did lead the event at one point of time on round one, didn't he?
Yes,
He did.
he
It
did.
was one
He
of the
did.
early starters
He
and the
did.
leader as well. I think at 6 under or 5 under, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
So now we have Sonit. This one's going to move a bit left to right. He's taking his time. It's just that little length where you absolutely have to be committed and put it on its way. Well done.
Right. Sunit seems to be suggesting something to his caddy. Looking very animated.
I think there's a bit of a disagreement on the line read. But you know, there I have to say that, you know, when your ball is off the green, a little bit of a deflection of a robust blade of grass can be the difference that makes the difference.
That's
But
right.
of course, you know, that's the player-caddy relationship, and we'll leave it to those boys to figure it out.
And another birdie putt coming up.
For Tanaka, no, well, that's unfortunately a bogey for Tanaka. And it's going to be the same for Bahadur. He's going to be putting this for a bogey as well. Because, as you recall, he missed his tee shot short and right. And then his putt he misjudged. His chip rather, he misjudged and left it on the fringe. And now this is, of course, where he is because it was a sharp right to left drop. So that's for a bogey for Bahadur Rai. Well
And
done. No mistake there.
Well done, Sukra. And you can see a lot of players moving on to wearing shorts now. The summer is well and truly here in the north. And a big thank you to all our partners, Kalyani, Amol, DP World, Amrutanjan, Electrolyte, Kyampa, Axis Bank. It's their support that helps grow Indian professional golf.
You're absolutely right about that, Nikhil. You know, the support that we get from our tour partners is absolutely invaluable. And, you know, referencing, again, 72, the league, you know, that itself kind of put it out there because all the players were, of course, out there. They had some really good mentors and strategists and past players who were working closely with the teams. And Dhruv Sheeran here, a very nice, tight scorecard, as we can see. 4 birdies on the front nine, all 4 were on the trot, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And thereafter, he's just maybe making some solid pars. So 224 yards, this par 3, favoring a left to right pattern. And anywhere slightly left of the flag would be a good spot.
And we see that ball being followed by the cameraman. It's found the dance floor and it's
Wow.
really happy with that.
That was so good. I mean, not only was it
Outstanding.
slightly left of the flag, it was dead on, coming in left to right. It looked on line.
That's right. And he'll be fancying his chances for a birdie here.
Indeed. You know, I was fancying our chances that our production team had caught a hole in one because that was really tracking, you know, downwind, and it could have come very close.
Can Sunit go one better?
Yes, he'll absolutely need to put a good swing on this because in his mind, he's 100% counting this as a birdie because from back on the tee, that ball appears a lot closer to the flag than it really is.
So for the last shot, one can say he is unstoppable. That's Kampa Wali Zid.
That's it. That looks like a good swing. When ball looks like it's moving a bit right to left uh, as he put it in the bunker. It just seemed like it was moving in the other direction.
He's found the bunker, I guess. And here is Viraj Madappa wearing that floppy hat. Very few players sporting
it's the
that.
heat, right? Nikhil, is the heat. These guys have to beat off the heat. And this has become a very popular form of headgear, particularly in the summer events.
I think they also call it the bucket hat. And Akshay finds the trap as well. Does that look heart-shaped? There's no love going out from there for the players.
Nikhil, my old romantic friend, the old romantic in you. Yes, now that you mention it, clearly I see things very differently from where I do. But let me tell you, there's a little bit of an out of bounds on the left side. So there is no love on this hole if you miss it further left of the bunker. In fact, there's a deep ravine there, and I've seen many an amateur playing the club rounds, having to fight to get it over that left side fence and ravine. But of course, here we are, leader group, the three boys, Dhruv Sheeran, Akshay Sharma,
and Sunit Chaurasia.
And Sunit Chaurasia.
And similar colors, Dhruv's trouser and Sunit's t-shirt. Is that aquamarine? You're the guy who knows the colors, the
Aquamarine it is. I love the way Dhruv dresses. He's, well, he can oscillate between being a dude and being a bit subdued.
That's right. And he's also got some Japanese influence now. Being married to a Japanese lady, he often makes trips to Japan in the summer.
In fact, he did play the Japan Tour Q School as well. And I think I just absolutely love that about not just about Dhruv, but a lot of the other young players who are making the effort to go out, travel to countries, which are of course very rich in golfing heritage and culture, and put themselves out there to learn and grow. And I have no doubt that he will be on that tour very soon.
So Jamal hanging in there. Will we get to see Jamal ka Kamal today? 4 birdies on the front 9.
Yeah, that's a good one, Jamal ka Kamal. Reminds me of a very good one I heard the other day. Where was this? Don't recall. I think it was the Delhi Golf Club. We were playing and, I hit a little kacha. It's 5th hole, par 3. Ended up a little bit short. My partner says, kacha hai, lekin acha hai.
These are some of those that you come up with on the spot.
Yep. The absolute joys of being out there 5 hours in the sun, beating it up with your buddies. And of course, sometimes that's also your job, like the gentleman we see on the screen right now. Well done, Dhruv. That's a terrific tee shot. And, both Akshay and Sunit must know that, at the very minimum, they need to make an up and down. Otherwise, this gap could get widened.
Just looking at the leader group, one gets to see very fit young Indian golfers nowadays. It just tells you how much time they dedicate to fitness and, keeping in shape nowadays, especially with the number of tournaments they are playing and back-to-back events.
I couldn't agree more with you. Times have changed tremendously, and fitness, mental training, physical fitness, of course, and other aspects have been a huge leap in the way the game has grown. How sprinters, of course, shave off seconds and milliseconds, and it's the same happening here, because the fitter you are, the more resilient you are, the better your stamina to play round after round, take those flights. Sometimes on Asian Tour events, your hotel could be even an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours away from actually the golf course. So you're actually even sleeping sometimes on those minivans. These are amazing stories that you can actually get to hear when you speak to some of our professional golfers.
And after Sunit, that's Akshay on your screen. They've left it way short off the pin.
Both of them actually, Nikhil. I must say, we were talking about something else, but it was very surprising to see. They both. Is there too much sand in that bunker? They seem to be, on about something.
Yes, Akshay gesturing to his caddy, not happy, and Now they have their task cut out.
Yeah, Sunat, of course, has gotten onto the green and gotten on with it, but you can clearly tell that Akshay is having a bit of a rough day out there.
And Akshay is very expressive on the course. When he is in full flow, he gives us a lot of good reactions to the camera, to the social media team, and to the live broadcast. And there's one man from the Chaurasia family there, and the other who says, I'm deeply inspired by Jeev Milkha Singh, Akshay Sharma, who's grown up in Chandigarh.
No, for sure. The good thing, about all our past legends, who've ruled the fairways, Jeev Milkha Singh, SSP Chaurasia, of course, many more, including Arjun Atwal, who, put his name and weight behind our very own league. It's so good to see them work and make time for, younger players, upcoming players. Our good friend Anirban Lahiri as well, has a lot of time for young players, and he himself in his own way has groomed and mentored many of them. In fact, the foundation he has set up as well, which is based in Baroda, it's a fabulous effort to make his, make his little, mark and make a little difference to Indian golf.
Now, an interesting fact, looking at the leaderboard, Shivas, none of the top three have won in recent times. Dhruv Shuran, Akshay Sharma, and Jamal Hussain, they have had their last victories coming latest in 2024.
Well, that's a great stat, and for our viewers, Nikhil is the man that has all the stats. Dare I say, in the absence of our other co-commentator, Swami, who may not take too kindly to my complimenting Nikhil or another human being. But of course, that's the buddy system, and we have a lot of trespass with each other. So I shout out to my buddy Swami, who after many years was missed at the Masters this year because he just chose to take it a bit easy and was, stomping the grounds at Delhi Golf Club, at the Delhi Golf Club League. So that was a great, piece of information from Nikhil. And yes, you're right. This makes it all the more interesting amongst the top three because they're all hungry for that win. A couple of years is a long time, sometimes, and sometimes ever so close. Akshay giving it a good roll. Has he made it? Indeed he has. That is terrific. What a good putt that was.
Outstanding.
And I don't know whether you caught that, Nikhil. You saw that little fist bump from Dhruv to Akshay. That's game recognizing game right there. You got to admire that.
Yes, the Rajasthan Regals duo, one appreciating the other's effort. The fist bump. That's right. And I'll just make one little correction to that stat mentioned by me. Jamal has in fact won in 2025. So he has won last year, and the other two have had a longer, victory drought, so to say.
Dhruv Shuram set to bring the hammer down. No mistake there. Solid, smooth, measured.
That's right. He looks very confident and calm, cool and collected. Unperturbed, one can say. And there's another group, youngster, teenager, Harman Sachdeva, DP World PGTI Q School graduate this year. Comes from Gurugram. We'll be seeing him chip now.
So Dhruv solid at 15 under, 3 ahead of Sunit Chaurasia after 11 holes.
And Harman's just about left that inches from the hole. So making his mark here, the youngster, 18-year-old, tall, big built.
And he can hit it. This on this par 4, I would imagine that was probably an eagle opportunity. He was trying to chip that in. And yeah, nice lad.
And a tap in for him there. Another Fauji kid. His father having served in the Indian Army.
Definitely a strong unit. You can see that. No wonder he sends the ball a long, long way. Nice birdie there.
Another Kyampa Wali Zid moment, one can say. So there's the bird's eye view of the Classic Golf and Country Club designed by the great Jack Nicklaus.
Indeed, a terrific 27-hole track, 18 championship holes and 9, on the other side, which again, is lovely for younger people, older people, families to go out and play together, hang out together, and even those just learning their craft.
And Dhruv on the leaderboard opening up a lead there. 15 under.
Just look at this gorgeous layout. We were here literally all of us, same place a month ago, same time when we had the hotel planner event. And it's so good to see that the course looks as pristine and as lush, even though it's about 10 degrees warmer.
Right. And Himmat Rai on your screen now, an international winner. He's won in Asia and he's won twice on the DP World PGTI. Another golfer who comes from an army background. His family traces their roots to Maharaja Ranjit Singh's army generations back to the 19th century.
Well, that's very, very interesting trivia right there. And we have Mani Ram. It's a good lag putt. Guess it's distance control right. He's happy with it. Goes there. So clean that up.
Maniram unassuming as always. He's been a veteran, won 3 titles on the PGTI Next Gen. And now Himmat Rai on your screen. An effortless there by Himmat. He's also had a long wait for a victory. He made his debut on the PGTI, DP World PGTI back in 2009. And Dhruv Shoran opening up a gap there at the top. 4 shots now. 15 under through 11 holes. Jamal Hussain 11 under through 11. Sunit Chaurasia 11 under through 11 holes. And Akshay Sharma 10 under through 11. Harman Sachdeva, the youngster, you just saw him chipping. 8 under through 11 holes. So Dhruv opening up a bit of a lead here.
And Viraj Madappa, unfortunately, finding his round getting completely derailed after the double bogey on the 9th. He's bogeyed the 10th as well as the 11th. And all the good work done with his 3 birdies in the first 4 holes pretty much negated. That's an unfortunate stretch. I'm sure he'd love to bounce back from that. 3 of them tied at 6 under: Tanaka, Bahadur Rai and Lohan. And a full cluster at 5 under with Amardeep Malik, Angad Chima, Rohit Narwal, Anshul Kaptial, Shamim Khan, Ravi Kumar and Bipin Mukhia. That's quite a log jam right there.
That's right.
All these boys have between 3 to 6 holes to go.
And Taiga sounds a lot like tiger. When you pronounce it, the phonetics, every time I say Taiga Tanaka, sounds like Tiger Tanaka. And Tiger is a famous name in golf. And Aryaman Aditya Mohan, they're not happy with his chip. Another member of the winning Rajasthan Regals team at 72 the league.
Yes, and also a member of my home club, the Bombay Presidency Golf Club. And I've seen this kid grow up. And it's so good to see another youngster, Josh Parekh, also here this week. Came through Q School and he's currently sitting in 24th place. So shout out to both Aryaman and Josh. Good to see you boys on the big screen.
On your screen now, Aryaman, and on the left is Om Prakash Chauhan, a 12-time winner, including 1 title on the Hotel Planner Tour. And we shall now make a little switch in commentary. Joining us, Rahul Bajaj and Shaurya Singh.
Welcome, Shaurya. Welcome, Rahul. It's good to have you boys back. Nikhil and me shall leave all you viewers in the capable hands of these wonderful gentlemen. Aryaman unfortunately makes a bogey there, and he's not going to be too happy with that. Om Prakash Chauhan on our screen, one of the most prolific winners on our DP World PGTI.
Thank you very much for that, Shivas and Nikhil. It's indeed been quite the day thus far. We've seen birdies galore here at the ITC Classic. And after this changeover, it's my dear friend Rahul Bajaj and myself, Shaurya Singh, who will be bringing you the action.
Well, now that we're both here in this com box, Shaurya, there's interesting stuff going on over here. Dhruv Sharan is leading the way by 4 shots over Jamal and Sunit Charasia. And there we have that aerial view of that golf course. And as we speak, the leaderboard. And this time in extremely bright colors, bringing on the heat here in Gurugram, rather new, right outside of Gurugram.
Yes, exactly. The specifics matter, my dear friend. We see Dhruv Sharan is running away with it. He's like a horse that is bolt from the blue. As we have a look at this brilliant day. Jamal Hussain. He's been a figure of consistency, and I'd say that he's a very well-rounded player, and if you want to learn a thing or two about how to maximize your output, I'd say look no further than this man. Viraj Madappa also sporting the fisherman's hat. I think that's definitely the call for the day. You need those to remain cool in this weather.
Playing the 15th hole here. 15th hole here. Back to the 13th hole here. We've got the group of Taiga Tanaka, who's playing alongside Sukra Bahadur Rai from Nepal and Jamal Hussain. A truly international group this on hole number 13th.
You know, we'd have to look up the meaning of taiga in Japanese. Rahul, why don't you do that? Let's try and understand the etymology of it while we have a look at this golf ball in flight. Here at hole number 15, which is playing down, and I think this is an absolute treat for the golfers. Look at that ball getting green high. And I'm also, if I might say, a little jealous of the players out there on this perfect patch. This golf course is stellar. Sukra Bahadur Rai. Having that tape on his wrist.
Jealousy, they say, my friend, is a negative emotion. I think you must want to even that out by perhaps practicing some sort of empathy.
Thank you for that. I think I'll talk to my therapist, sir. We go back to Sukra. On hole number 13, the par 4. You're seeing the golf course is wind swept. Look at that.
Well, the Japanese name Taiga, as directed by my co-commentator, to find out the meaning of the name, is the great river. Symbolizes strength, flow, and nature. Let's see in a few moments, right after we finish with Sukra, whether the flow, nature, and strength is thoroughly displayed by Taiga Tanaka or not. Sukra Bahadur Rai from Nepal, 28 years of age, turned professional in 2019.
Sukra Bahadur Rai has enjoyed quite a bit of success on the professional golf tour of India. The nifty golf game.
Has had quite a colourful scorecard today so far. We also found a little bit of royal blue on that scorecard, which usually is something that professional golfers would usually not like. -7 currently at a tie for 8th position, trying to find that putting surface and just about finding it on the corner.
delivering golf anywhere you can imagine. That's smart logistics to a T.
पढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
Presenting the expertise of wealth management with the power of a bank.
Tanaka from Japan. Beautiful swing there. Unfortunately, he's missed it out fair amounts to the right. That's going to be a tough up and down coming up. Short-sided himself. He's got no room to work with, and a bit of downwind as well from that side. It's going to be a tough up and down to make there.
I think he's probably playing for the wind and did quite get that ball turning to the left.
Back to the short par for 15th hole. Viraj Marappa seems to be showing up again in that fisherman hat, as mentioned earlier by Shaurya. Playing alongside Manoj S from Bengaluru, topmost finisher at the Indian Open in 2026. Marappa, who tried to catch up this morning, started off with 3 birdies in the first 4 holes, but unfortunately has given way since then. So we take a look now at Rohit Narwal. Rohit Narwal coming up from the left rough over here. Narwal has found himself on the putting surface. He's a long way away for a birdie attempt, but nonetheless has got himself out of trouble and up onto the dance floor. And back here with Rai. There's something rhyming about Sukra Bahadur Rai's name, isn't it, Shaurya? It's just fun to call it out.
Yeah, it's a melodious sort of a name. You know, I was just having a look at the second shot for young Manoj. That the pin right at the front does make it difficult there. And now back to this chip shot for Tiger.
Tanaka has surely got a lot of work here to do with that up and down coming up from the right side. Pin is only 5 in, and he's got no room to work with, and doesn't even seem like he's going with an open club face. Probably he's trying to bump this up into the edge of the green and let it release up after that. I think he's done a fairly good job over there. Tanaka giving himself just a little tap in remaining for a par. Tanaka cleans up there beautifully. He would stick around at 6 under par as he makes his way into the 16th hole, the long par 4. Here, one of the toughest holes on the course. Sukra from the left side of the green here. Long putties, but probably further away than where Tiger's ball was after 2.
Rahul, I have a question for you. You know, it's now the second half of moving day. We're seeing Dhruv is opening a lead. Of course, that Jamal is still keeping pace, and so is Sunith. But is this a sign of things to come? It could become difficult because he's a good front runner, and you know, we've seen that he's performed even at the Indian. You know, the last year when Rory was here, and he's missed the cut by a shot at the Indian Open. He's really good, and he played really well here at the Challenge Hotel Planner Tour event as well. So it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult to sort of stave him off.
I didn't quite catch that question, Shaurya. But, having said that, I'll request you to repeat that as we first finish off with Sukra's putt here on the 13th. A long-range birdie attempt here for Nepal's Rai. Comes up way short of the hole. He's got a long way remaining for a par.
You know, I was saying that it looks like Dhruv is going to open a sizable lead once again. Here, you know, especially given the kind of year that he's had. He's had a very prodigious sort of performance this entire year. And you think if he gets a 4-shot lead or more, it's going to be almost not impossible, but extremely maybe a hill too high to climb for the rest of the players.
Well, if you look at how Dhruv's been playing over this entire season, you will see that he's been getting better over a period of time. He's, like I mentioned earlier in the pre-show as well, you know, he didn't quite get the finish he wanted last week. But having said that, he's gotten off to a very hot start. He's been making a lot of birdies, and he's a fierce player, by the way, and a fearless one at that. And, you know, this here in Gurgaon, Haryana, is very much his backyard, and this is very much the kind of course that suits his game very well. So I think Dhruv is surely going to be the one to beat over here. And as I said, surely, I also figured that it should be Dhruv Sure-only.
That's, what do they call those? I think those are called a soliloquy.
As we're back to the fisherman on the 15th, putting from a long range away here. 5 in from the front is that flag today on the 15th hole, and 3 from the left. No room to work with. And cleans that one up. Viraj Marappa, who's been trying to make some moves of his own here on the moving day, unfortunately has dropped off all of the shots that he picked up early on in the day, coming off with a birdie on 1, 3 and 4. And got off to a double bogey, probably got into the drink there on the 9th. I'm only speculating. And then 2 more bogeys later on to create a 1 over par on that scoreboard. And Manoj S, now the man who finished the best among the Indians at the Indian Open.
Now back to 15. So I saw that chip shot. I think he's done really well given the front flag position. That's what I was talking about earlier. That you know, uncomfortable 35-yard distance. And the opportunity goes a-begging for Manoj. And while we have a look at Manoj, now he's, I think he's just recently turned 18. I was under the impression that he's still 17, so he's legally old enough to drive, but believe you me, he drives really well and has been driving the ball a fair distance well before his 18th birthday. So
another young professional golfer, Rohit Narwal, coming off a very rich career as an amateur golfer, now trying to get better as a professional. He too is trying to put his best foot forward, unfortunately not quite making the most of it as of now and running out of holes here on moving day. Narwal.
It's nice to see Om Prakash Chauhan also come up. He's 3 under par, while we have a look at Rohit navigating this putt.
Well, Mohammad Sanju has also sneaked up on that leaderboard with a 5 under par today. 71, 70 and 67. And Rohit Narwal makes that putt here on the 15th hole. Akshay Sharma from Chandigarh. Currently at 1 under par for the day, 10 under par for the tournament.
Really favors the left to right hold. Plays his golf predominantly with a fade. And very controlled fade at that. I think this is a shot that I'm probably giving him 8 on 10. I'm pretty certain that he's not going to be very happy with that. But the wind might be a factor because it's blowing off the player's right and he hits a fade. So he'll have to work it against the wind and probably start it at the flag. So A little difficult shot given the way the wind is and where the pin is positioned. Another change that's happened on the Professional Golf Tour of India, the DP World Professional Golf Tour of India, that the pin positions have become a lot more spicy. Right at the corners, not giving much space to the players.
Dhruv Joran coming up from the left side of the 13th fairway. And the ball's lying pretty well here in the rough for Joran as he tries to find his way to this front flag location on the 13. 13 in from the front and 3 from the right. There is a bunker there in the front to contend with. Let's see if he can get this up close and personal and make yet another birdie. 6 under par for the day, a staggering 6 under par. 6 birdies on that scorecard, no blemish whatsoever. Nice and easy swing there. What a brilliant shot that is by Dhruv Joran, coming up close to that front flag location. We'll have a good look at a birdie. Yeah, they're just about under 15 feet. The third playing partner now coming up of this group, Sunit Chaurasia. Very similar pre-shot routine to SSP Chaurasia.
Even has a similar walk, has that sort of a spring in his step.
Absolutely, and brilliant golf swing Sunit has. Very simple and brilliant shot as well. So that swing also makes good shots, mind you. And he'll have a good look at birdie as well. Left to right putt and just about 15 or 18 feet away from the hole.
You do feel for a player who's having to spend so much time out in the wilderness owing to his injury, and often coming back after such a long layoff. You have a touch of nostalgia and also hunger, and it's good to see him really perform from the get-go. And Himmat Singh Rai on hole number 15, the former Asian Tour winner, Himmat. So multiple winner on the DP World PGTI. Now is based in the UK and also here, and shuttles between and plays a lot of national domestic tours in Europe and back to the PGTI. Let's see how he does on hole number 15. And that's, he's pulled off a big drive as Himmat. So it seems like he's definitely added some distance in his repertoire.
Not quite sure if he lost any, and definitely good to see Himmat Singh Rai after a while, and also bringing up some hot performance here. 70 on day 1, 67 on day 2. Currently one shot down to the course, but hopefully he can pick it back up here on this 15th hole, the short par 4, with that beautiful drive. And certainly has been a big hitter of the golf ball, and of course has had a very stellar professional career. In fact, I think if we go back in time and look at who are some of the players whom we would always consider to be some of the top players, I think Himmat Singh Rai would certainly be at the top of our minds.
Yeah, so it's, I would say Himmat is one of the players who's been very successful. He's enjoyed a very rich career, and coming from good amateur golf and then performing the world over, and now coming back to the DP World PGTI to try and ply his trade once again, where he experienced a lot of success first.
Certainly, I remember there was this one big old story of his when he was playing an amateur tournament in Coimbatore. If you remember, there was this pin position which he walked out of. So he walked out of the golf course because he said this pin position is an illegal one, and I believe he would hit a putt and then it would land up in the bunker and then hit one back up and it would roll back in.
I can't recall. I do remember that flag pin position in that particular tournament. It was an absolutely menacing pin position. I think we had a 10 putt or something and it was called off. In fact, the day was called off, if yes. I recall. He walked off, and I think it was myself as well and a few others, and the day was called off, in fact, because it was an illegal pin.
Yes.
The ball wouldn't hold from even 2 feet and go in the bunker. So it tells you a little bit about the rules of golf. You just can't put the pin anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. The ball must come to a stationary halt.
I think the rule states that there's about 4 feet area around the hole where you should be able to stop the golf ball. Let's take a look now at Dhruv Shoran, who's putting for birdie over here. Can he move the needle further on to 16 under par? Right to left putt here for Shoran. Uphill all the way. Can be aggressive with it.
He's blemish free.
As he got enough on that, and he leaves that just about a few inches short of the hole. He will stick around at 15 under par as he moves to the remaining holes of the penultimate day, the moving day here at Gurugram, at the DP World Player Championship being played here at the Classic Golf and Country Club for a prize purse of 1 crore rupees.
Nice to see Amardeep Malik also in the fray at 6 under par. Abhinav Lohan, if there's an award for the most consistent player, it has to go to him. He's again in striking distance at 7 under par. Angad Chima as well. Kushal Singh, he's been resurgent. I would say that he's in a purple patch of sorts, and somebody else who's in a purple patch is Sanit Chaurasia.
Professional wins, one professional win, and turned pro in 2018, but he's pretty much spent the last 2 or 3 years now in the state of an injury. Chaurasia now putting for a birdie. Can he move it to 4 under par for the day? Unfortunately, Chaurasia not finding the bottom of the cup over here. And talking about Abhinav Lohan as Mr. Consistent is what you call him. I think on the PGA Tour that name was pretty much kept from Matt Kuchar.
Yeah, pretty similar. Although Matt is also infamous for being a little tight with the the string of the pearls, but I'm not quite certain that, of course, Lohan is a lot more benevolent. But anyways, jokes aside, have a look at Akshay Sharma. Yes, he at one point in time, Matt probably held a lot of records for consecutive cuts and top tens, and I'd say that Lohan is pretty similar as well.
And Akshay Sharma keeping it pretty clean on that scorecard today, has made 11 pars and just 1 birdie. So keeping it clean, but certainly needs to get something going. He did make 5 under par over the last 6 holes yesterday. Can he repeat the same or not? Remains to be seen. Short rounds of 70, 65 to start off. And there we have that leaderboard. Shoran leads the way at 15 under par. Hossain and Chaurasia follow suit at 11 under. Chandigarh Akshay Sharma at 10 under par, and Harman Sachdeva trying to make a mark of his own by himself at 9 under par.
Back to hole number 15. I really do like this spin position because this hole is playing downwind and measures about 370, but of course not playing to that yardage with that downwind, so it makes it a lot easier for the players. That's Mani Ram. I doubt he'd be there in 1. If that's the case, then he's of course been he's had the elixir of youth or distance that he's gotten here in 1, which I don't think is probable. You'll soon find out. Himmat Rai, though, he's adjacent to the green on the left side, so maybe Mani Ram has gotten a friendly bounce.
Yeah, we've spoken off the record today, but I've seen Mani Ram actually playing very well here at the Classic Golf and Country Club. And if you see his game, you would actually think that he would play better on tighter courses and not longer courses or resort-style courses for that matter. And he has always done well on this course. In fact, as we speak, he's also made an eagle on the par 5 14th hole, which usually we would think that for a person who doesn't hit it as far, it would be a bit of a toughie. But Mani Ram, of course, proving us all wrong. Currently 9 under par. He's really playing the movers and shakers here today, isn't he?
Look at that majestic drone view. That in view, ladies and gentlemen, is hole number 10, the par 4. Back here now. This shot for Himmat, I think he's undercooked it and he's left it in the trap. So that can happen if you try to get a little too cute with it. And you know, I'm pretty certain that he'd be cross with himself for that. That is, as they say, fratricide is friendly fire. So that's pretty similar to that. It's a mistake, nevertheless. But you know, that can happen, Rahul. What do you say from that yardage? You know, player does want to make birdie. You've hit a good drive, but you also have to take your medicine and get to about 15 feet past the flag. Anytime you try to get too cute, it can stay in that bunker, and now the ball might as well be plugged because it's you know, it would have pitched there rather soft, gingerly. That might be sitting down in the bunker, so par is not going to be easy here for Himmat. Yeah, so see that it wasn't plugged, but now how quickly this game can change. You know, you're looking at a birdie, and now you're struggling with the 10-footer for par.
Well, the beauty of hindsight is always 6 by 6. I'm pretty sure he's looking back at his decision now as to the kind of shot he employed on that second shot. Having said that, a lot depends on the lie. But, you know, coming up from a short range and then having the flag very much closer to the edge of the green towards you, I think it's one of the toughest shots to contend with. And like you said, the heart wants to make a birdie, but the mind has to sometimes take over. Let's take a look now at young Harman Sachdeva. Second shot for this long hitter here on the par 5. Has he got enough juice on that chip? He still has about 3 feet remaining.
It's probably the easiest birdie that I've ever seen. It's easy like a Sunday morning. Just drive the green right next to it. And lo and behold, walk off with a nice, easy birdie. But of course, it's easier said than done. I'm rather intrigued to see if it's Mani Ram's second shot or his third. You know, if it's his second shot, Rahul, I think I'm going to get my golf clubs out of the garage and start oiling them and get ready.
Well, as news flows in, it indeed is Mani Ram's second shot here. So you better get something going, Shaurya. If you haven't been reaching that far, I think you've got to figure out, is it the protein that is missing, or is it the workout, or is it just your speed? What is going on? I thought the color on your hair was just colored.
You know, I'm having an existential crisis. Mani Ram. Brilliant.
Another eagle for Mani Ram Sharma. Two back-to-back eagles on 14th and 15th holes. Moves to 11 under par.
This is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a little flummoxed, flabbergasted, confused, befuddled. I don't have the correct adjective at this point in time. I'm all out of words. Look at that. 2 eagles and Mani Ram. Where has the hidden yardage come from? You're hitting it 50 yards further than what you used to. I think you're imploring me to come back.
Replay here of Mani Ram Sharma's putt from off the green.
You know, a putt is so nice. Even the screen froze, my friend. Look at that.
Well, Himmat Singh Rai now putting for par after that big drive.
Himmat would really feel that he's been left out of the party. A birdie, a eagle. Oh, brilliant par for Himmat Singh Rai.
He left out on no party, my friend.
The name is Rai, Himmat Rai. Well done, shaken, not stirred, making a par there. Now with this mere formality, he better make a birdie, so it becomes 2-3-4. Not quite often that you see that on a scorecard. And I can't quite recall. Have you ever seen 2 back-to-back eagles on the PGTI? On the DP World PGTI?
Of course I have.
You've seen everything. Harman makes a birdie. And of course, Rahul, who was I to even ask the soothsayer? He's seen it all. He can see the future. And of course, he can see very clearly to the past.
Although one thing that even you would have not seen on the PGTI is 2 putts being made from off the green, which would not be counted as putts. So that'll be 0 on the putts and only 1 putt from Harman. And a group that's finished 3 under par for that hole. What a brilliant showing here by this group on the 15th hole.
Really, that's, you know, I'm still recovering, and that's a par putt. You know, now we feel that par putts are so blasé. We need eagle putts off the green.
I know, right? Viraj Madappa going on intently into that par attempt over here. Needs to keep saving those shots. And no trouble there for Madappa, as he would stick around at 7 under par.
And when we talk about that eagle, it's so important that that is a zid that you need. You need to be adamant. And that's where Kampa comes in. Kampa powers your zid. I'm pretty certain that Mani Ram has had a few sips of Kampa in the morning. Tiger Tanaka-san on hole at number 15. Tiger, can you drive the green?
Well, his name does symbolize strength, flow, and nature, as we found out just a few moments ago. And let's see if he really brings that out onto the golf course. Certainly has his banking partner in place.
I think so does his physicality.
Axis Bank always got your back.
Tiger in Himmat territory. That is where, in that side, it's a little difficult to try and make birdie from. So let's see if he is able to navigate that golf shot. And you know, while we're talking about weather like this, which is oppressive, mind you that water is essential for life, because dehydration occurs when the body loses more fluids than you take in, Rahul. And it is often accompanied by disturbances in the concentration of essential electrolytes, sodium and potassium. And that's where Amrutanjan Enelite comes in. It helps you refuel, replenish, and then get ready for another attack in the oppressive conditions. Himmat Rai on hole number 16 after securing that par.
Hopefully he's hydrated himself back again, as he will need another big drive here on the 16th hole. Tough par 4, one of the toughest par 4s here on this course. This hole spans over 431 yards, but the players have to keep the ball in play, and usually they would do that with a fairway wood, as has been attempted by Himmat. And bilkul Himmat to kari hai.
Brilliant. Himmat means valor. And you'll need a lot of valor, ladies and gentlemen, if you're to try and win on the DP World Tour. DP World is reshaping the future of global trade to improve lives everywhere, operating across 6 continents with teams of over 125,000 employees. From ports to terminals to marine services. Their global sports partnerships in cricket, golf, Formula 1 and sailing showcase their leadership in supply chain transformation. And they even supported the ICC T20 World Cup and the Ryder Cup. The list goes on and on and on. Well, we have a look at the second shot underway on hole number 16. Now we'd like to make a correction, and I'm feeling that like a hot air balloon with the air taken out, that was indeed a birdie from Mani Ram. You know, I thought miracles do happen, but nevertheless an eagle birdie stretch.
And a par for Harman Sachdeva, so we certainly got it wrong in all that excitement. I've told you so many times, sure, you must control the amount of caffeine you drink before commentary.
I think for once I will agree with you, Rahul. You are absolutely spot on. I think curb, as I remember that famous show, curb your enthusiasm. But I couldn't help it. That was a brilliant birdie nevertheless.
Well, now that we are on the subject of birdies, Jamal Hussain has made another birdie on the par 5 14th hole and moved up to 12 under par within 3 shots now of Dhruv Shoran. And a couple of other players who are having bogey-free rounds today. Dhruv Shoran, of course, having a bogey-free round at 6 birdies on that scorecard. And I'll apprise you of all of these bogey-free rounds on that scorecard today, as we take a quick little break.
I'm sorry, sir. My mistake.
पर हम भी जिद्दी है।
मुश्किल खड़ी है, खोले सीना, सामने एक चट्टान है, मेरी जिद का बोले पसीना, चट्टानों के अंदर आसमान है, जिद कैंपा वाली, जिद कैंपा वाली, जिद कैंपा वाली, जिद।
Delivering golf anywhere you can imagine. That's smart logistics to a T.
Presenting the expertise of wealth management with the power of a bank.
On from the flag. Back here on the 15th hole, we have Sukra Bahadur, who is popped it back onto the green, and Taiga Tanaka coming up from the left side of that bunker. Let's see if he can do better than some other players that we've seen from this side. Short-sided Taiga Tanaka. Let's see if he can flop this one up straight into the sky and drop it like a butterfly.
Oh, you've become a poet now. Let's see what Taiga-san can do here on hole number 15 coming out of the rough. Similar territory to where Himmat was. So, being very meticulous here. Taking a big swipe at that, and that's airborne, ladies and gentlemen.
An airmailed, he'll have about 40 feet now to the flag.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. He took the prudent approach, but a little too hot coming out of the rough.
The funny thing about prudence is that sometimes it can be taken as safe.
That is what appears to be hole number 16.
So that's a long way away from that flag location. Flag today on the 16th is 12 in from the center and in the center, so not so far away from the flag actually. Himmat Rai now from the fairway. Big 3-wood there.
I think Himmat is going to wait on his playing partner who's in the bunker, Mani Rao. Now this is a very difficult shot from that bunker. He's changing clubs as well. So just to give you an idea, he has about 185 yards to this front flag coming out of the sand. The good thing is wind is from the back. No, he seems that he's out of the bunker, so that seems to be a lucky break. There was a
tough shot though. Tough shot though. He's on the uphill and he's got to contend with the green, which is also on the uphill and a big way away. I think about 170 plus uphill to that flag and this green. Himmat Rai now coming up from the fairway. Himmat always been a good swinger of the golf club.
Is safely on, but a club too much it seems, and it'll roll off now. He'll have his work cut out in order to make par from there, so one club a little too much, I think now. Jamal on hole number 15.
Really got up on that ball, didn't he?
He has his own peculiarities in the way that he swings the club. And talking about peculiarities, a wide range of dietary options that you have, and some of the most important things is calcium. And Amul really does power a nation, and it also powers PGTI Surge. The iconic brand helped the country emerge as the largest milk producer in the world. As they say, drink your milk and become strong.
Tanaka now from a long range away for a birdie. Greens are rolling beautifully at 10.5. Has Taiga Tanaka hit it enough? But he hasn't. Leaves it just about 2 feet short of the hole.
I'd like to take a little bit of a break from the commentary box and welcome Mr. Shivas Nath, a man who knows a lot about golf in all its forms.
Sukra Bahadur now coming up from the middle tier of this green. A little swale that is there here on the 15th hole. This putt should break from the right to the left. That was a terrible read from me, it seems like. It does break from the right to the left, and leaves it just a wee bit short of the hole. Indeed, had a good chance. Sukrabadur, who's had a birdie on hole number 5, a drop shot on hole number 8, a double bogey on hole number 9, and then made 3 birdies on that back 9 to be at even par for the day, 8 under par for the tournament. As I'm now joined by Shivas Nath, the only other thing which is famous about Mumbai other than the Vada Pav.
Well, thank you very much, Rahul. And yes, I'm beginning to embrace the Vada Pav reference. This is a big seat to fill in, I must say, because there's a very large vocabulary that our buddy Shaurya has, downloaded on us and our viewers. And I must say that his Shaurya-isms are going to be quite a talking point at lunch today and tomorrow and day after.
I think he does leave Colin a little shy, doesn't he? A number of words that he learned from in there is fair share, more than I think I would be able to embody inside my brain cells over the next few years. Jamal Hussain coming up.
Jamal Hussain, of course, chugging along at 12 under. That's a par opportunity, no mistake there.
Jamal is going to stick around at 12 under par, keeping a very clean scorecard today with birdies on hole number 3, 7, 8, 9 and the 14th. Taiga Tanaka from Japan cleaning up for a par.
Well, Nikhil earlier was referencing the fact that Taiga sounds a lot like, when you pronounce it like Tiger. And I have to say that once I've heard it, I'm kind of visualizing it and hearing it exactly the same way.
Well, there is a certain ring to his name, isn't there, though? In fact, one of our co-commentators, Mr. Banerjee, Rahul Banerjee, did mention to me that Taiga Tanaka was a major character in the James Bond film You Only Live Twice. So he was the chief of the Japanese Secret Service. Well, things we learn along the way.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing the amount of trivia and the amount of the depth of knowledge that we acquired. We're fortunate enough to travel the length and breadth of the country, and we just learn a few things along the way.
Sachdeva now on the 16th hole for a birdie attempt. As he got enough on it, Harman Sachdeva has left it way short off the hole.
He's a strong young lad, isn't he? He hits the ball a long, long way.
Talking about strong young lads, Dhruv Shoran coming up on the 16th hole, the long par 4. 15th hole, my apologies, and that's a big drive. And does he run this one up onto the green and probably loses a little bit of steam on that uphill, but very well placed drive by Shoran.
And with the pin being up in front, definitely a very makeable up and down. Dhruv Shoran's been very impressive today, very even-keeled, very much in control. I really enjoy watching this young man play, Rahul. Akshay Sharma, all set to give it a heave-ho.
We're talking about a clean scorecard. Akshay Sharma has kept it very clean with birdie on hole number 7th and one on the 14th. If he goes by that, he will need the 21st hole to make the next birdie, and hopefully he can get that one quicker than that. 15th hole, Akshay Sharma off the tee.
Great camera work from our team.
Kicked off a little bit towards the left. Did he leave that in the bunker in the fairway? Because that's a tough shot. You certainly want to be in the short stuff for this flag location. As we take a look at their third playing partner, Sunit Chaurasia from Calcutta, 11 under par.
It's so good, Rahul, to see Sunit back on the tour, fighting his way back from injury. Something that I, admire about youngsters and sports people in general, and particularly today on our leaderboard, youngsters like Sunit as well as Virat Madappa, having had their woes with injury, fought their way back, very gritty, put in the hard yards. It's so good to see them back.
Chaurasia will need to get after this one. Harman Sachdeva now on hole number 16th. And Sachdeva's got a long way away for a par, nearly about 6 feet remaining to be contended with. Harman Sachdeva to stick around at 9 under par. Unfortunately, wheels have come off. Sachdeva will drop a shot here and move down to 8 under par to tie Mohammad Sanju and Om Prakash Chauhan as well as Sukra Bahadur Rai. And there we have a stellar Himmat Singh Rai. He's trying to find form back again, which seems to be a second coming for him. Himmat has also kept a very clean scorecard today. Unfortunately, not the kind of clean that he would have liked to. 1 bogey on that scorecard and all pars. Other than that, 6 under par for the tournament is Rai. He's got this putt remaining for a par. Beautiful hole, the 16th here at the Classic Golf and Country Club. No trouble here for Himmat as he will move into the 17th and the 18th holes, the last 2 holes of his penultimate round. As look a little bit further down that leaderboard, looking at a couple of good rounds. We've got Dominic Piccirillo, who's at 3 under par for the tournament and 3 under par for the day. Subhash Tamang from Nepal at 1 under par for the day and 3 under par for the tournament. And back here on the course at the live action on the 17th hole, Maniram Sharma. Let's see if he can pitch a high one onto this flag location. 20 in and 5 from the right. Not the easiest of flag locations. You know, there's a very interesting green this on the 17th. It's got a very, very small area to pitch the ball and stop it on. And you know, there's a little downhill that goes. So if you pitch the ball before that downhill, which is about probably 15 in, the ball is going to bounce off and go to the other side. So you have to pitch it accurately past that downhill so that you can spin the ball. Let's see if Maniram has got it right. Certainly seems to have got the right direction. It's a nice soft draw. And there we have it. You know, this is exactly what I was saying. That little downhill over there will, you know, take the best of golf shots and throw them over the green. And then you're left with a tough one to contend with.
That was a great call there, Rahul. And you know, the whole playing downwind didn't help Maniram's case either, because you know, he did pitch it about 15, 20, 18 feet short of the flag and a little bit right, and the ball just bounded away. So, well, the wind's not entirely up, but it certainly influences some of these mid-iron shots coming into certain greens and the way it's received, basis, of course, the pin position. So there you have the leaderboard there at the DP World PGTI Players Championship here at the Classic Golf Resort. Dhruv Sharan 3 ahead at 15 under, and his closest pursuer is Jamal Hussain from Bangladesh. Tied third, we have Akshay Sharma and Sunit Chaurasia, both at 11 under. And Maniram in 5th place with his back-to-back eagles. Interesting forte coming up, I would say. Of course, pending what the outcome is over the last 3 or 4 holes here, but certainly a good shootout.
Well, thanks to that white cap that Akshay is wearing. Otherwise, he's pretty much trying to camouflage himself with the golf course. 17th hole, Himmat Singh Rai, astute ball striker.
Looks like a good swing, good tempo. Again, looks... that is a bit right. And that's not going to be a very easy up and down. Not much green to work with, Rahul.
Yes, certainly. And looks like the wind caught his ball and drifted it onto the other side. Or we're back now onto the 15th hole. We have from the left side of the fairway, Sunit Chaurasia. Chaurasia is short-sided himself, as we've seen a couple of other players doing so on this. So it's very easy to short-side yourself here on the 15th hole for this flag location. It's one of those flags which tempt you to go for it. But if you hit it on the wrong side of the green, then you've had it. And Sunit Chaurasia has done a fabulous job of that. That's the best shot we've seen coming up from the left side. Sunit with a very realistic birdie opportunity here. Probably just about touching a 15 feet away. We take a look now at Dhruv Sharan, who's coming up from the front of the green.
Nice little bump and run. Oh, well, it's flattered to deceive. It's moved away to the right. He's definitely not going to be very happy with that. Not one of his best efforts, I'm afraid. Having a little conversation with his caddy, I think they have misread that shot completely in terms of the way it veered off to the right.
Tanaka now. On to the 16th hole. This is another shot. The approach shot on this hole also is a very tough one to judge owing to the uphill green location. You have to add a couple of yards, and if you try to get cute with this green, you've had a tough time. So certainly if a player is probably 1 under par for this hole, is a really good score on this golf course. Jamal Hussain now coming up from the fairway. He's hit it really far out into the fairway. Would have a mid-iron or so in, maybe a 9-iron or so.
Certainly, you're right. He's hit it about 15-20 yards past where most people hit it. Obviously, he has a great angle, and the shorter iron would certainly give him a... Oh, same mistake. Literally the same thing. 5-7 yards short.
So, you know, the shorter club on this hole is certainly an advantage, but you cannot be too cool with this green. You have to be smart with any of the flag locations on this green. You've got to play half a club past it. Otherwise, you know, it's kind of got these invisible teeth that it kind of sucks you into.
And this green is a bit elevated as well. So, you know, that does, of course, ensure that if you don't fly it all the way there or do your calculations correctly, you are going to... Because we did see the third ball on the green as well, but that's a long way back. It's probably about 50, 55, 60 feet away. So the definitely this hole giving people and the players a lot to think about.
The gravity pull into that bunker is certainly a little bit more. Let's take a look now at Chaurasia. Chaurasia is putting for a birdie. Can Chaurasia make this one and tie alongside Jamal Hussain?
Birdie opportunity there for Sona Chaurasia. That one goes a begging. It wasn't, of course, the easiest of putts. He did make the second shot from the left side of the fairway look a lot easier than it actually was. That is, of course, the skill and the hard work that all these young players put in. But well, nonetheless, a stress-free par. Dhruv Sharan, he's got this, I would say, about 6 or 7 footer to extend his lead now to 4 shots and get to 16 under.
You know, probably what is a missed opportunity here at this point in time, Shivas? Looking at a par coming in on the 14th as well as the 15th holes for Sunit. You know, those were 2 opportunities. And Dhruv, of course, also, you know, could have extended his lead there on the 14th itself, but it seems like that big miscue of that tee shot on the 14th. Let's see if he can pick his shot over here and move to 16 under par for the tournament.
Nice languid stroke, and that's veered off to the left. You know, for all the conversations that were going on there, Rahul, that, you know, that did seem to be a bit of a uncommitted stroke. It just didn't have the same commitment level that I usually see from Dhruv.
Maybe just slightly under that line, actually. That ball certainly had a break from the right to the left. We've seen other putts also from that side. Maybe just a case of a bit of a lesser read, or maybe just a touch of a tug. Sharma now putting for a par. Sharma found himself in that fairway bunker indeed off that tee shot. This hopefully to keep that scorecard clean as he has thus far.
Well done. Sharma has just been a bit out of sorts. Very expressive player. Expressive with his gesticulations, expressive with his attire. Very, very solid player nonetheless. Moving on now to the 16th hole. It's 431-yard par 4, making the players work extremely hard to grab their pars.
You know, incidentally, I have been in a playoff with Akshay Sharma at the Rambagh Golf Club in Jaipur, and you know, mind you, he gave me no chance. He made an eagle just before I could even attempt my birdie from about 10 feet away. So I was pretty much toast as he had his shot number 3.
Well, you know, speaking of Rambagh, well, obviously first I must tell you that the very fact that both you gentlemen were in a playoff together itself, you're being very hard on yourself by saying that you didn't have a chance against Akshay Rahul. That's not really done, but yes, that said and done. Rambagh has been going through a lot of extensive you know, work on the golf course. They're upgrading their greens, and you know, I was there about a month ago, and 5 brand new greens on that course, another 6 under construction, and that par putt goes a begging. Bahadur Rai, not very happy about that. And that putt did seem to, you know, move quite a bit from his right to the left and get off that slope. There's a lot of gardening work going on as well. Imagine a couple of par opportunities now coming up for Jamal and Tanaka. A Japanese Secret Service agent on the PGTI.
Tiger Tanaka now here on the 16th hole, putting for a par. Short-sighted himself into that gruesome bunker, just short of the green. But seems to have put himself into a fine place for a par.
He's lining that up quite a bit left, isn't he, Rahul? There's a lot of, does there seem to be a lot of as much movement as I'm imagining?
Yes, there is a little bit of break from the left to the right, and I think he's aligned probably just outside of the left edge over here, and probably tugged that just a notch, just about dying that one, but unfortunately that one sort of went through the break.
And this is, of course, a fairly large size green, you know, at a depth of 34 and the pin cut just 12 paces on. And now we have Jamal. He's got this left to secure his par and stay in second place at 12 under.
And also to keep his scorecard clean for the day, he's kept it bogey free so far, and here after that brilliant drive, putting himself into that bunker was, you can say, an unforced error. And now from that bunker as well, I think it looks like he's played it pretty cute. He left himself yet another tough downhill putt coming in from the right to the left.
And this one I would imagine would move a bit briskly as well. Has he given it enough? No. His didn't come back as much as he expected.
Yes,
He was certainly expecting more right to left on that.
Certainly did not, and I think his body language was a bit more brisk than the ball could have turned towards the left. So he would drop off to 11 under par to tie alongside Sharasya and Akshay Sharma. All 3 players now at 11 under par. Dhruv Shoran is clear by 4 shots after 15 holes on the penultimate day.
And dare I say, you know, to steal a bit of your words, he would definitely see 14th and 15th as missed birdie opportunities. So he had every opportunity to, you know, expand his lead there. But there, of course, there's always day 4 in the offing, and that's tomorrow. And we're going to see how that plays out. We were here a month ago, and Rahul, you recall the pristine conditions and the crazy oscillating weather at the Hotel Planner event. Same golf course exactly a month ago. And it's very warm and still compared to what it was back a month ago.
You know, it's commendable though that the golf course is still playing in fine fettle even after a month has passed. Of course, the heat has been brought on not only by the weather gods but also by the players here on the DP World PGTI. And as we take a look there, the aerial view of this golf course, thanks to the drone pilot, what a beautiful place this is, the Classic Golf and Country Club. And as we talk about the golf course, I must say a huge thanks and a big mention to the PGTI umbrella partner, DP World PGTI as it's called now. There we have the leaderboard, and as you look at that, DP World is reshaping the future of global trade to improve lives everywhere, operating across 6 continents with a team of over 125,000 employees. They combine global infrastructure and local expertise to deliver seamless supply chain solutions. And they also say they deliver golf across continents as well. And of course, PGTI Tour partners Amul, Axis Bank, Amritanjan, Enelite, and of course Campa. We also have Kalyani. There we have a look at 31-year-old Dhruv Shoran. 3 professional victories, turned pro in the year 2018. Has left himself into that right bunker here on the 16th hole in a bit of a range finder situation. Should be about, I think, if I'm not mistaken here, Shivas, I think it's about 3 yards uphill from the fairway, the green.
Well, probably is, and of course for most of our viewers, while the rangefinders are permitted, the slope mode has to be knocked off, because on most of these rangefinders they calibrate the actual yardage into the playing yardage if they can account for the slope aspect as well. So that's of course an area where the player and the caddy have to use their own intel.
Jamal Hussain now on the 17th hole, par 3, pin today 20 inside and towards the right side of the green. Jamal Hussain with a beautiful shot, soft landing shot on this beautiful flag, and Jamal would have nothing but about 15 feet for a birdie. Shoran. Shoran, who's currently 13th on the order of merit, has played 8 tournaments and had 2 top 10 finishes, made cut in 6 tournaments thus far. 16th hole is a stroke index of 2, and the 8th hole here at the Classic Golf and Country Club has got a stroke index of 1. 2 tough holes here.
This is an important swing, good shot. As he caught enough of the ball, seems to be flying towards the left side of the green. Well done, safely played. That's a very good miss, I would say, Rahul. Not short, not long, got it up pin high, onto the safe side. Solid golf.
Certainly agree there. It's a good miss for sure. He's played it towards the left side and the front side of the green. And good part is that he caught enough of the ball there and got enough yards in so that he is nearly pin high. So he should have a good look at making an up and down. We take a look now at Sunith Chaurasia. Sunith has hit his golf ball into the left side of the fairway. Beautiful shot here. And a good look at the flag, in fact. That's a brilliant place to be at for this green. Although, you do have to hit it much shorter to be on that side of the fairway.
You're absolutely right, Rahul. That's a great angle coming in, and I would fully expect him to make a good swing. He's been swinging well. Just needs to make a few more putts.
It does certainly look like he does need to get something going with that putter. But do you think that coming off an injury and sitting back for almost a couple of years now, what a brilliant shot that, and sitting at home for a couple of years actually helps him. Comes in with a lesser number of expectations, and gets to go out there and see how he's doing. A little more with an open mind, perhaps.
No, you're absolutely right about that, Rahul. Sitting at home, with your career up in the air, you can have some fairly introspective moments, deep conversations. Now we have Akshay Sharma dressing the ball.
Well, our cameraman has practiced the skills now of following the golf ball, so let's see if he follows suit now as the ball is up in the air.
Indeed, a good result. That just about had enough, and it's a great shot to this flag cut 12 paces on.
And certainly, I think 3 yards more would have been a little bit better, but if I was in Akshay's place, I would be standing in the fairway and shouting at the ball to get up.
No, definitely a good effort there, particularly given what we saw happen with the last group that left this green. There were 2 short in the bunker and 1 way back, and I think all of them missed par basically.
पढ़ता है खेलता है झूलता उछलता है दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया
I'm sorry, sir. My mistake.
पर हम भी जिद्दी है।
मुश्किल खड़ी है खोले सीना सामने एक चट्टान है मेरी जिद का बोले पसीना चट्टानों के अंदर आसमान है जिद क्या पावाली जिद क्या पावाली जिद क्या पावाली जिद
Delivering golf anywhere you can imagine. That's smart logistics to a T.
Of course, the number 1 round of the day still belongs to Dhruv Sheeran, although he does have a couple of holes to play and come in. Well, 3 holes to be precise. Abhinav Lohan and Anshul Kaptial also bringing in cards of 4 under for the day.
Shoran now coming up from short of the green here on the 16th hole. And looking at his 3rd shot, it seems like he's taking a bit of an aerial route over here. Got an open club face. Probably seems to be going with a bit of a mid-spinner kind of an approach over here. A bit of a bump and run, and has done fairly well. Should have a good chance now for a par, and no drop shots on that scorecard. Just about 3 to 4 feet remaining for an up and down here for Shoran to stick around at 15 under par.
Well, it's 36, or rather 38 degrees and rising here in Manesar at the Classic Golf and Country Club. A terrific 27-hole layout, fabulous hotel on location, great venue for golf events across the board, from professional events to a bunch of corporate golf days, and a lot of junior golf events as well, Rahul, that are hosted at this wonderful golf course.
Certainly a brilliant venue to be at. Sukra Bahadur Rai with a brilliant run for a birdie over there, all the way from Nepal. In fact, absolutely, Shivas, this has been a beautiful venue, not only for professional tournaments and junior tournaments as well. And the conditions on this course, they're just so fantastic all year round. Let's take a look now at Sunil Charasia coming up for a birdie. Just short of the flag over here on the 16th hole. This is one of the finest shots, approach ones, that we have seen on this hole. And Sunil Charasia rolls that one in and moves to 12 under par for the tournament here after 16 holes.
And that was certainly a very good putt, and he's jubilant, and rightfully so. He's waited a while to drill a birdie. And well done, Sunil. His last birdie was on the 9th hole, I believe. Jamal Hussain.
Bringing on the colors today to the golf course. Jamal is putting for a birdie here on the 17th hole. Like, we were looking at Sunit's shot just a few moments ago. This is also one of the finest shots that we've seen on this tough flag location on the 17th today. Long par 3 as well. It's 198 yards, but plays a little bit downhill. So depending on the wind condition, player could be hitting anywhere between a 8 iron to a 5 iron. See if Jamal can find the bottom of the cup. Certainly has been getting up much earlier than he used to on those putts.
I actually did notice that. He literally was up and away as soon as the ball had, the club had made contact with the ball. That's very unusual.
Sharma now for birdie and leaves it in the jaws of the hole. He knows it.
That you're right. That was literally down the throat. Just a couple of rolls short. Maybe just a roll and a half. Most disappointed. And Dhruv has this 4-footer left now to make par and stay at 15 under with 2 holes to play. Well, it's always nice to have some messages coming in from some of our viewers.
Shoran cleans up beautifully there on the 16th hole and makes that up and down for a par as we take a look now at Sukra. Cleaning up over here after that long range attempt for birdie.
That was a very important putt for Dhruv. A 4-footer, not an easy one.
Certainly, and I think that kind of like sort of brings back a bit of a pat on the back kind of a feeling for the players. So they also, good scrambling is also very important for players to be able to contend and win in tournaments, and Dhruv showcasing just that. And I can tell you one thing, that certainly opens up that door for him to make the birdie on the last and final hole, which is the par 5.
Yes, for sure. A very thrilling finishing hole. Sitting right behind our commentary box and right in front of the clubhouse. And yes, that is going to be definitely an opportunity he'd like to take on. The pin is going to be has been cut 21 on and 3 from the left, so hitting it pretty much center of the tee, and with the second shot should be the play and the plan for him. And kudos to our camera team. We have some of our friends messaging in, complimenting the camera work. So please take a bow to our production and camera team. Well done, folks.
17th hole, Sunit Charasia. I think a prudent shot on this one would be to start the ball in the center of the green and hit a high cut towards it. The wind today is also from the left to the right. Let's see if Sunit can get this up close and personal with that flag location. High soft cut would fit the bill just right. That seems a high one for sure. What a brilliant place to drop the ball. As Sunit Charasia got it perfect, nearly perfect. Sunit Charasia just under 20 feet for a birdie opportunity all the way uphill to the hole. He'll have a good look at it. Can probably give it another firm one here right after that birdie made on the tough par 4 16th.
Well, as you can see from the flags, it's a fairly still day. There isn't much wind, which would only make our 38-degree temperature feel a lot more warm than it actually is, because as all our golfing buddies would agree, the breeze is something that lends a lot of relief, especially if you happen to find a way to walk under the leafy trees that surround our fairways.
As Preeti mentioned in the pre-show, feels like about 10 degrees more than what the temperature says it is. So going by that, it's about 48 degrees out there right now. So pretty much a furnace. But having said that, nothing that Amrutanjan Analyte can't solve. So get your hydration in through Amrutanjan Analyte, and of course, hopefully you consumed enough of that Amul butter to start off the day. And Dhruv Shoran, after this week, perhaps have that big check and put it all into that Axis Bank account.
Well, that would be a perfect ending to, and also for our folks that have tuned in, this is the final event of our first leg of this season, because we take a bit of a not a very happy result for Dhruv there. He's come up short. He will not be happy with that. He did seem a bit tentative, a bit uncomfortable on the tee. We saw him back off a bit, and now he does have his work cut out. Not the easiest of up and downs, but let's see what young Dhruv has got. So back to where we were. This is the final event of the first leg of the season, and then we will be on a break for a couple of months for the hot summers and the monsoons. And that, of course, well, we see a couple of our colleagues in the background on the 17 tee. We see Preeti and Shaurya right there with our production team. So is that Shaurya analyzing what Dhruv had and what Dhruv did?
It certainly is, and just like Akshay, the only way we could tell him was with the white cap on his head. Oh, sorry, that's not a cap.
That's Shaurya's new hairdo.
And of course, Preeti Dahiya there, so it seems like a bit of a tete-a-tete coming in from the golf course. Did I just spoil the fun?
Well, it's all fun and games for us in the commentary box. It's all business out there on the greens and the fairways and the tee, and a great visual from our drone pilot. Course in sublime condition. And look at the beautiful rolling terrain. It lends itself as a beautiful backdrop. For those of you who have never been up here to this beautiful golf course, we urge you, come out, play this course. It's awesome. It's a great day out and a very rewarding experience.
As they say, a bad day on the golf course is any day better than a good day in the office. So what is your reason to stay in the office?
Well, Rahul, you and I, our office is the golf course today. So we are the very select lucky few.
We don't get to choose whether it's a good day or a bad day. We always have a good day.
We do indeed. It's a privilege to watch golf, engage with each other, see some top quality athletes, and it's a day well spent. Or at most of our gigs, a couple of days well spent, while we run you through the third and fourth rounds. So here you have Dhruv. He's got a bit of work.
Well, Shoran now from that front bunker. Seems his golf ball must be a bit closer on to that lip. He certainly has his work cut out as the entire green runs downhill. If he has a good lie though, he can cook up something nice and special and drop it right on top of that downhill and let it release down to the hole. And with, of course, all the baking that's happening on the golf course, the greens also must be getting harder as the day moves on. So a bit high and soft approach, drop it about 10-12 yards from where he is right now and let it release.
He's given that some fizz. Oh, that's gone. Good 10 feet past the flag. He did generate a lot of club head speed to put spin on that, Rahul.
I think there was this camp of fizz in that, but no jizz. So that's why it didn't stop. Needed a bit more jizz, a bit more spin on that golf ball to be able to stop it quicker than it did. And, you know, it caught that downhill and kept going by. It had to stop. It had to
Talking
go more
about the
onto the
fizz
grooves.
and the jizz, a couple of familiar faces on our screen.
Onwards, the familiar faces have gone, and now you are left with the
Akshay Sharma.
proper familiar faces. Akshay Sharma, the man who tries to camouflage himself. I'm going to tell him to get himself a pair of green pants so we can't see him except for the cherry on his head, which is the cap. The cherry is never white, but in this case it is.
Young Akshay addresses the ball. The cherry on the cake would be the putt being made. It looks like, oh, he's left that way, way, way short. That's a good 10 feet shot, a total misjudgment.
My eyes were playing tricks with me. I thought a couple of those pitch marks, I was trying to think that they are actually the hole, but and then I saw the flag there. Certainly lots of work remaining there for Akshay Sharma, and you know, the one thing I love about today's round for Akshay is that he's never let any shot go out of his hand. He's only made 2 birdies, which is much lesser than what he would usually make on a track like this. But especially looking at what he did yesterday, he just came out all guns blazing, 5 birdies on the last 6 holes. Hopefully he can get that putt into the hole. And looking at that leaderboard, I'm trying to find out who are the players who've really gone on a tear on this back nine today, and unfortunately I don't see anyone, although I do have a bunch of players who've gone on an absolute tear when they started off the day. 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th birdies for Dhruv Shoran to start off that front nine. Sunil Chaurasia birdie on 5, 6, 8 and 9 to turn at 32, which is 4 under par. Let's see if Chaurasia can make back-to-back birdies over here and move to 13 under par, closer to Dhruv Shoran. Looking at an uphill putt over here for Sunil Chaurasia, and as he got enough on it and leaks it out towards the right, he seems to be a little befuddled by it.
You know, Rahul, it's been getting super hot out there on the golf course, and these boys have to keep themselves very well hydrated, and I think that might explain a little bit of why the front nine had Jamal Hussain giving it a bit of a heave-ho. That's a 2nd shot into the 18th. The left side bunker.
He short-sighted himself yet again over here. Jamal Hussain would have a tough shot coming in from that left bunker. 21 in is the pin today on the 18th hole, and 3 from the left. It is anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, that you want to be except the left side of the green today. And Jamal Hussain has put himself just in that little tough spot. Dhruv Shoran for a par here to stay clean on that scorecard today.
Very, very important putt. It's a good looking stroke. Has he got enough on it? And he makes it. How good is that? How good is that? And he knows that. You see that double fist pump. He absolutely knows that was an unforced error off the tee, but a great recovery. Well done, young Dhruv.
Well, it's a case of come at the hour, come at the man, and Dhruv Shoran keeping it clean, making that scintillating up and down from the front bunker. Certainly that time where he gets to show his grit. Akshay Sharma, about 7 feet away for a par. Sharma to keep his place at 11 under par. He knows this is an important putt, running out of holes for the day, and if he wants to do anything, keep the putter hot so that it can come back tomorrow and attack the course.
Indeed, this is a big putt because for all the good work he's done, this one goes a begging.
Sharma drops off to 10 under par. He would still be inside of the top 5, but seems like a bit of a blemish there now for Akshay Sharma, as I now bring upon to you the man who wrote the Pocket Dictionary by Collins, Shaurya Singh.
It's good to have Shaurya back in the house. Last spotted on the 17th tee. The Pocket Dictionary, the Pocket Rocket. The man with the silver tongue. So good to have you back here, Shaurya. Things were getting a bit sleepy between Rahul and me, and now that you are back, we can't wait to have you regale us.
Thank you so much for that eloquent introduction, Shivas. I've gone to see the action and try to understand what the players are actually facing out on the course, and the 17th is indeed a very difficult flag. We saw that. But to my absolute surprise, I saw Dhruv Shoran go with a 9-iron on that flag.
Well, Dhruv did actually miss that short, and we saw him, being a little tentative on the tee as well. And of course, you were up there and you saw that, because and then he made, of course, a terrific up and down, from the front bunker. Put a lot of effort into that sand shot, and then that 15-footer, which was incredibly important. A very good stroke, and as Rahul said, come at the hour, come at the man. So it's been absolutely a furnace out there. It's close to 40 degrees. It's very still. It feels a lot warmer than it actually is.
It sure is warm. While you have a look at Sukra here on 18th. He was in trouble off the tee, and hasn't he done well? But they're not really oppressive heat. Sometimes the heat is unbearable. It's not quite there yet. Of course, it's going to tan you. It's going to burn your skin. But there is wind, which sort of comes to your rescue. So the conditions still, I think, all in all, manageable.
Well, like we say, we golfers are a special breed. When we're out there golfing, we don't know what heat is. We don't know what oppressive weather is. Many places in India, you have some, fairly big monsoons, and come the weekend, and we're all out there enjoying ourselves, fighting the elements under our umbrellas and our rain jackets. And it's the same in other parts of the country where it can get incredibly hot. Hydrate and play on.
Absolutely. Somebody who's been getting really hot is Mohammad Sanju. He's in with around a 5 under par, and that would take him to 8 under par total. Of course, Dhruv Sharon at 15 under par leads the tournament. Taiga Tanaka, this is another difficult shot here at 18. A lot of bunker and very little green. This is going to require all the skill that he has. Get under the ball, utilize the bounce, and be aggressive. Try to play a little past. We saw him take the safety route in 15. That would be the prudent approach. Do not want to be flirting with this flag from this lie. You can make 6 in a heartbeat. Let's see if he goes the route of prudence or bashful aggression for Tiger on hole number 18 here at the ITC Golf Club for the DP World PGTI Championship.
And
I had called that, and I've seen that from that bunker time and again. You get a little too greedy, and this golf course can bite back. Shots that look innocuous can sometimes be perilous. And now Jamal, he's in a much better position. Very easy shot from here. But that is much to his chagrin. He has almost, I would not say sculled it, just got it really thin. He's about 35 feet by. So she was talking about this bunker. You have to take your medicine. I think what happened there, Jamal was a little too aggressive, and Tiger was a little too cute trying to get that ball close. And now I think he's in the upslope or the bank. So par is not given, so you don't want to be doing that. That is definitely an own goal in football terminology. But of course, Tiger not having the kind of day that, and that is
going to hurt, because that's not what Tiger Tanaka was, seeing the way it was going to play out in his head. And, having missed it left with the second shot, he had to have taken his medicine, because this pin position is cut in a bit of a depression, and there's a ridge over which you're just seeing Hussain walk, and anything that flies beyond it is going the other way.
And I'm certain that Tiger's really going to be hot under the collar at this point in time. He's capitulated right at the end. He's made bogey on 16, 17, and appears that he's going to be bleeding here on hole number 18 as well. So Tiger would really need to go back to the drawing board. And
he's not had the happiest of days either. He's 3 over for the day, looking at going to 4 over for the day, and that's definitely not going to sit very well, given the fact that he started the day at 8 under par. And his scorecard, just 3 birdies, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bogeys, and likely a 7th coming up. So that's not a good day at all.
Brilliant pin position. It's a little bit like the Loch Ness monster. It doesn't really exist, but it's scary enough. So if you try and go for it, you can make birdie eagle, but otherwise you can really find yourself dropping shots and, as they say, leaking oil right at the end. Jamal Hussain out of character with that bunker shot. He's incidentally come off a bogey on 16, so the train has come off the rails a little bit. He was coasting at 5 under par. Now he's 4 under par, and difficult birdie attempt, but I would never put it beyond a man as proficient, yielding that putter like a broomstick, I'll tell you.
Oh, this man has great touch. There's no question about it.
He
We've seen him wield his magic over the years.
Yeah, like he bewitches the putter, and this not too bad. He has about 3 foot of a par, but after that stellar drive, I'm certain he's not going to be happy with the outcome and just making par.
I couldn't agree more with you. And speaking about his stellar drive, we certainly would need to see our leader, Dhruv Shuran, send one down the middle, because he's hit a couple of wayward drives coming in, and when basis that, of course, he's had a couple of birdie opportunities on 14 and 15 go begging, 17 as well. He had to, on 16 as well, the long par 4, he had to hit a terrific second shot to get it anywhere up and near the green.
And let's see if Tiger can actually make this par. It would be really nice to see him salvage one here after those drop shots, and not to be, the way golf is, it's sort of a momentum game. You make one and then it sort of catapults, and unfortunately it's cascading errors on hole 16, 17, 18.
He's going to need to do a bit of regrouping. And back to the fairway, we see Akshay Sharma. He's waiting for the green to clear. He's got the fairway metal.
Akshay as well, unfortunately, not having the kind of day that he would have wanted. He's 1 under par. He would have wanted to attack a lot more. And just an update, Dhruv Shuran has been able to make par on 17. He was in quite the precarious position, so brilliant play.
Dhruv Shuran's been very impressive, and that 15-footer he made was a very, very good stroke. Took his time with his caddy. They figured out whatever they wanted to do, and he executed it to perfection.
What are those shoes called? Are they called brooches? What is
Brogues.
exact? Brogues.
Brogues.
Yeah.
Brogues.
Those are really fancy.
That's a birdie right there for Bahadur, and
I'd say for stylish Bahadur.
Stylish Bahadur. Very well coordinated with his shoes and his shirt and his wristband.
He reminds me a little bit, those shoes remind me a little bit of the mechanic Miguel Angel Jimenez from Space.
The boy with the Spanish hands.
Yeah, exactly. And that is a candid shot of Dhruv Shuran, who's
efficiently standing under the trees to
I'd say he's been able
catch
to
a bit of shade.
He's been able to extract victory from the jaws of defeat on 17th. So that is really quite something. Jamal, look at the way he putts. You would really not see that he's one of the greatest putters ever on tour.
He's got great hands. Even his putt from the back, he did miss the line a bit, but his distance control was perfecto.
If you can have a look at the replay, his body English is so pronounced even on a putt. But anyways, back to the action. Akshay Sharma, 18th hole, right fairway, 270 yards. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready now, because this is incoming. And that's a missile that has been launched by him. Would want to run that up.
Left to right, yes, it's moving a little left to right. It should be on a good line. Staring it down. Oh.
Staring it down. And
he's not happy with the result.
Yeah, he gesticulated that. Seems a little nonplussed.
And you have young Shuran back in the fairway, ready to have a go. Brought out the big stick, and I welcome back my colleague Nikhil Kalan into the commentary box.
Have a look at that drive. He's one of the only few players who have seen going with the rescue on hole number 18. Mind you, the 18th is playing into the wind, so it's playing longer than its yardage, and that's the difference. That he has that multiplier effect. Hits the ball flat, really hard. A lot of swing speed, well beyond 120, and that's why he's able to get the ball well beyond 300 on each hit. This hole is playing into the wind. Sunny Chaurasia now on hole number 18. Comeback kid after being waylaid by injury.
That's right, Shaurya. Making a grand comeback this year. Sunit Chaurasia, nephew of the legendary SSP Chaurasia.
And that's a good spot to be in. He's hit that bunker. He's in a similar spot to where Jamal was. He would hope that he'd do better than what Jamal did from that bunker. Jamal was not able to extract birdie. Dhruv Sharon, ladies and gentlemen, he's at 15 under par. I'm pretty certain that he'll make at least a birdie here. You know, he's not too happy with his shot on 17th.
Haryana lad leading in Haryana.
Yeah, home soil being kind. Aggressive through the ball. Want to draw it from the right. This shot playing to about 260 into wind. He's gone with the 2-iron. And look at that golf shot. What an absolute beauty. Flew it all the way there. Sometimes, you know, there is a thing, Nikhil, such as being a little too good. And
That's
on
right.
that on that event, he was a little too good.
And he's looked like being in control throughout. You see his walk, his body language. He looks very confident. He's been posting some good numbers of late and carrying on the momentum forward into the classic week. And the two Rajasthan Regals boys having a chat there, Akshay Sharma and Dhruv Sharon.
Presenting the expertise of wealth management with the power of a bank.
पढ़ता है खेलता है झूलता उछलता है दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया
Delivering golf anywhere you can imagine. That's smart logistics to a T.
As we talk about horses, somebody who has bolted from the gates is Dhruv Sharon. A 6 under par, blemish free. That's quite the scorecard. Not colorful at all, just birdies right in there. And maybe another one on 18th. He's over the green, has a deft chip coming up.
Right, and Sunit has been very animated today. He's been gesturing to his caddy a number of times. If you've noticed, he's showing a lot of emotions. Of course, he's on his way back from an injury, long injury layoff. So he wants to make the most of this position.
I can't tell you that, you know, normally we don't do, we live life through our own experiences, but I say that I'm vicariously living through him. I am extremely elated and happy. He is such an affable young man, and for him to have gone through that, you know, that harrowing time of an injury, being away from what you love, and come back in such a resounding fashion, I think this is heartening to see. It's I doff my hat to him at his perseverance, having won at the Next Gen, and now delivering in style here at the DP World Players Championship in Classic Golf and Country Club.
So Akshay goes first. Just on the fringe. Akshay Sharma tracking. How close can he get? Oh.
That is brilliant. That is going to be just about 3 feet for birdie. Great attempt by Akshay. And also a little bit of course management there, leaving that ball on the front of the green and not trying to flirt with the left bunker, which now we'll see how Sunit's touch is.
And we'll get to see on this final hole whether Dhruv extends his lead or Sunit manages to close in further.
It's been a dominant performance by the Indian contingent. Out of the international, Jamal Hussain is at 11 under par. Sukra Bahadur Rai from the Himalayan Kingdom is at 8 under par. And further down, you have Taiga Tanaka and Koichira Ishika. So the Japanese contingent being represented in droves here in Gurugram. And Dominic Picario, the American, Subhash Thamang, and Thanga Raja. There's so many names. Now let's get back to the action. They'll be in deep and animated discussion what kind of shot they'll be employing, whether it's going to be the hit and run or the softie.
What do you mean by the softie, Shaurya, for our audiences?
He wants to be able to get under that ball and use the bounce to have the ball just land on the green with a sort of a deft, soft kind of landing. And the alternate is keeping it back in the stance and trying to run it up. The latter being a lot more difficult. I think he's played the runner to perfection.
Ooh, just veered off to the left. Looked perfect when it came out. Your thoughts?
What a shot that was. Really well done. You know what he was able to do? Play that, controlled runner and still utilize the bounce. So you can see that he's really firing on all cylinders. Look at that club, how he gets it under the ball. Look
So
at the leading edge.
Was that a softie?
You know, that, to be honest, that was a little bit of a hybrid. It came out soft, but still had considerable roll. So he didn't want to flirt with hitting it higher than that. A very measured shot, but requires a lot of skill. Look at that now. Sanit, of course, here doesn't have much of a choice. He has to be aggressive here. He has to spin it, otherwise there's no way that he can get this ball close. We've seen Tiger suffer from here, and he's been aggressive, and that's a really good shot. It really does go away from you, and that, according to me, is almost about the best that you can do. It doesn't quite stop from there, not much space, so giving himself a 10-footer coming back for birdie.
That's right. Sanit will look to stay in touch with the leader today so that he's well set up for the final day and trying to make the most of what has been a great season for him so far. He started off with a few good rounds in Kolkata early in February, and he's continued to perform consistently since then.
Yes, shows you that this golf course, definitely this week, I think that one of the defenses is the wind, but in the summers, it's really amenable to lower scores is ITC because it's so well manicured. You won't find a golf course, let alone in the country, very few in the world, with such perfect conditions, greens rolling through, and of course our mention of the Greenskeeping Committee and the management and everybody else here. They've really done a brilliant job, and this, I'd say, along with the stellar 7-star facility that they have, this is a must visit for every golf aficionado.
And designed by the great man himself, Jack Nicklaus.
The Golden Bear. Sunit Chaurasia will need to putt like the Golden Bear when he won his 6th Masters. Maybe just lift the left hand and walk it in.
That's right, that iconic image of Jack Nicklaus winning the Masters. And who's going first?
It appears that it is indeed Sunit Chaurasia. This putt would have a considerable amount of break from the right. But the good thing is that he not need to worry about anything else. It's going to get there on its own. Slide downhill after it reaches the halfway point. And
just shot.
It's
He'll be disappointed with that.
pretty good putt, but unfortunate for that not to have rolled on. And have a look. I think now is Dhruv Sharon after that sublime chip from off the green.
That's right. There's an opportunity to extend the lead further with that birdie putt.
We're just having a look at the scoreboard. The low round of the day does belong to Dhruv Sharon. So the leader is trying to stamp his authority, and this would extend the margin of the lead. I think if he gets to 4 shots ahead, it's really going to be difficult for the chasing pack, given the way that his game shapes up and how he is as a player, his mentality, his physicality, and his experience. So this might as well be, a a safety, safety putt for the tournament, and then a little bit of doubt creeping in here as far as the line is concerned. Should break from the left. This one's going to be slow, straight uphill. But as you've seen, it does have a twist right at the end, so he has to aim it outside left.
Outside left. That advice coming from a seasoned pro who's read many a line in his career.
It's always a lot easier when you're not doing it for yourself, and the ramifications are limited. Let's see if he gets it. He started it there, but as I said, the line was outside left and it was a slow putt, so had to be assertive. Just that can happen. You saw he was in a state of doubt over that putt, backed off, and at times you forget a little bit about the speed, and somehow they end up getting away from you. This is a complicated game, ladies and gentlemen, not for the faint of heart, but of course it is a beautiful day here, and he would still lead the tournament, but the margin would be 3.
So is that a signal for you, Shaurya, that when the player backs out, that he's a little doubtful?
Yes, he's a little doubtful because either the line or the speed, something, and more often than not, it is the line that he's having second thoughts about.
So birdie putt coming up for Akshay, and he's made it.
Yeah, no second thoughts for him. So Akshay would be happy that he's made a birdie because he would want to get closer to Dhruv Sharon, and with that birdie, he would move in for a tie for third position. But the final group tomorrow will comprise of Dhruv Sharon, Sanit Chaurasia, and Jamal Hussain. You can see he's all smiles. Must be feeling really nice to be back where he belongs, having to sit out.
That's right. Sanit will be looking for his first DP World PGTI title. Dhruv will be looking to end his victory drought since 2024. And Jamal Hussain is the most recent winner. He won last year. So that will be the leader group going into the final round, ladies and gentlemen. And Akshay Sharma is right on the leader's tail at 11 under.
Yeah, so the moving day, it didn't disappoint, to say the least. Low scores, lots of birdies, and as I say, the cream does rise to the top. Dhruv Sharon leading at 15 under par here at the ITC Classic Golf and Country Club, leading the DP World Players Championship on the DP World PGTI. This tournament offers a prize fund of 1 CR with 15 lakh going to the winner. So there's a lot to play for in addition to the world ranking points. Some of the other players who've done well. Anshul Kaptial, 4 under. A look back at
the highlights.
Some of the
Sukra,
moments.
Suneet. All the action from today's round here at the Classic Golf and Country Club. And a great putt there by Suneet, setting himself up for the return putt. And Harman Sachdeva, the teenager, Q School graduate, making his mark.
Yeah, having his day in the sun. He's has a strong build, I'll tell you that much, does
That's
Harman.
Right. Big, strong lad. And the man from the mountains, Sukra Bahadur Rai, playing without a cap.
What appears to be hole at number 30, I think. And this is 15th. This was a birdie hole for a lot of the players.
That's Rohit Narwal from Karnal, the local Haryana lad, and another Haryana lad, Dhruv Sharon. Oh, that
Left.
one just short.
Leaving it right in the jaws there.
And good old Maniram.
The man for all seasons, nonplussed with that birdie. He's like, I've seen this, I've done it all. And now Himmat Singh Rai. It's good to see him doing well, back on tour. Plays sparingly now on the DP World PGTI, but this year we've seen him quite consistently. And an impeccable work ethic helped him ascend in golfing echelons. Having won on the Asian Tour, the All India Amateur Champion, and had the privilege of spending a lot of time with him in the younger days and playing
That's
golf
right.
together.
Very talented golfer. Made India proud at the international level.
Akshay Sharma. He has a very well knit golf game, I'll tell you. Very compact golf game, very good swing. He's one, reminds you, for all our, his putting style is reminiscent of Jack.
And wearing those floral t-shirts all the time, Akshay, recognizable from far. And today it was Dhruv Shioran who was recognizable with that aquamarine trouser.
You know, I think this putt would prove to be pivotal. That was quite the bunker save from there. Short-sighted himself on that hole. And Sukra with this absolute peach here on hole number 18.
He's elated. Jamal there.
Yeah, this one veered off right at the end. That bunker shot was definitely not his Sunday best. And see this, look at that body English, that knee wobbles, that, you know, he tends to veer over.
Yes, that's right. He
Very
has a
peculiar.
Very distinct action.
And we'll soon get into the post-game show.
Sights from the Classic Golf and Country Club. Here's a look at the leaderboard at the end of round 3. Dhruv Shioran right on top, a 3-shot lead now. Sunit Chaurasia looking for his first DP World PGTI title at 12 under second, and tied third Akshay Sharma and Jamal Hussain at 11 under. Maniram producing that excellent round, being placed 5th at 9 under. Mohammad Sanju, Om Prakash Chauhan, Harman Sachdeva all tied 6th at 8 under, and Sukra Bahadur Rai also tied 6th at 8 under, and Rohit Narwal tied 10th at 7 under.
Yeah, low down we have the prodigious Anshul Kaptial, Viraj Mudappa, two ball striking savants, I'd say. Really good ball striker. Then Abhinav Lohan, I think I've waxed eloquent enough about him. He's extremely consistent. Very similar game and I'd say almost age as well. Amardeep Malik as well.
And a couple of golfers there who you've played a lot of golf with, Shaurya, Amardeep Malik and Mohammad Singh Rai.
And we'd like to now take you to the live show where they'll run you through what has happened on this moving day. And do join us tomorrow at the same time.
Once again, we've seen some outstanding action on day 3 here at Classic Golf and Country Club in New Haryana. I am Preeti Dahiya, and of course, let's discuss how it pan out for the leader group and of course the others who are trying to play catch up. Joining me are our experts, our commentators, Rahul Bajaj and Shivasnath. Welcome, gentlemen, once again. Let's first, Rahul, start by talking about Dhruv Shioran. Has he consolidated his position as the leader, and how was the day really for him?
Thanks, Preeti. I think the day has been pretty phenomenal for Dhruv. He's made 6 birdies on that scorecard today. No blemish whatsoever. Did have a bit of a hiccup here or there, but he really came out of it pretty well. You know, on the 15th hole, he missed the fairway, came out of there pretty well, made an up and down nicely. On the 17th hole, he missed the green, and thereafter made that up and down from the bunker, rolled in about a 20-footer, and that double fist pump, you know, showcased that. Could have made a birdie on the 18th. He did miss a couple of opportunities out there, but having said that, no blemish on that scorecard. 6 birdies on the card, 6 under par, and a 3-shot lead. over Sunil Chaurasia, I think it's a pretty good penultimate day and a good way to get into the final round.
Right. Shivas, for you also, it's been Dhruv Shuran's day all through. On day 3, how would you summarize it for him?
Well, as Rahul said, and I think he's pretty much summed it up. Dhruv was very solid today, 6 under, let go a few opportunities, 14, 15, 18. But then again, he salvaged a few as well, where he was out of position with unforced errors. I did feel he got a bit tentative towards the end of the round. He was kind of taking a little more time on the ball to execute shots, or double guessing some lines on the greens. But all said and done, he's a tremendous player, and we fully expect him to play well. And he's being chased by a very solid pack as well. Jamal Hussain was a wily veteran, great touch on the greens. Sunil Chaurasia, back from a couple of years off from the game because of an injury, hungry for a win, and again put himself out there in the mix. And Akshay Sharma, who's a proven winner as well. So it's going to be a fun 4th day tomorrow.
It's going to be a fun day 4. And let me ask you this, because you already have started speaking about Jamal Hussain. He's tied 3rd at the moment along with Akshay Sharma. If we read his game today, can there be some tricks up his sleeves that he can throw at the leader tomorrow? And, should Dhruv be wary of him?
Well, Jamal Hussain has a few tricks in his wardrobe. He wears some pretty colorful shirts, and I think that's something which,
But that applies to all of you golfers.
Well, we are a special breed, right, Rahul?
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, just to pick it up from where Shivas has just left off, I think Jamal is a strong competitor.
Yeah.
And, he's only 4 shots away. Actually, if you look at this leaderboard right now, you've got Sunit at 12, Jamal and Akshay at 11 under par each. And, all of these players have a shot at the leader at this point in time, depending on how the day, of course, starts out tomorrow. And looking at down that leaderboard, that's where I'm trying to see if there's something interesting that could happen over there.
Yeah.
There are players we have seen can go double-digit lows over here. They can go around shooting 10 under pars over here. And is there someone in that pack between the 6th position and the 10th who can do that to make this more and more interesting? And, we've seen over time, golf tournaments have a way of becoming interesting on the final day.
I'm sure. And of course, we're looking forward to that final days of action tomorrow. But Shivas, I want to ask you about Sunil Chaurasia. He's at the 2nd spot right now. We can, of course, refer to the leaderboard, which is in our eyesight right now. Not too far from Dhruv, but how would you rate his outing?
Well, I'm very impressed with Sunit's comeback because he kind of got back from injury. He's played on the next gen tour of the DP World PGTI. And he, again, as Rahul was inferring, is an explosive player. He's been known from his past performances to put some low numbers out there. Of course, the fact that he's mentored by his illustrious uncle, SSP Chaurasia, only adds to the mystery and the romance around him. So, he's going to be hungry to put himself back out there. And as I've previously said, it's so good to see him in the mix.
It's fantastic. Let's talk about some of the dark horses that you were referring to, Rahul, in between. Just give us a sense of who could they be, who can challenge the leader pack, if you can just, understand the leaderboard a bit better and tell our viewers.
Some of the proven guys over here on this leaderboard, of course, are Om Prakash Chauhan and Viraj Madappa, who could certainly go out there on a complete tear.
Yeah.
We have seen Akshay Sharma also pull up some really, really big number of birdies on a front 9 and a back 9 every now and then.
Where do you see Himmat in that?
Himmat Singh Rai is pretty far off right now at a tie for 14th position at 6 under par. That's a long shot away right now. 9 under par is nine shots is the difference between him and Dhruv right now. I think that's going to be a far cry. But even if I look at Viraj Madappa and Om Prakash Chauhan, who are both sitting at 7 under and 8 under respectively, I think they need to go on a complete tear starting the first hole. That's the only way that they're going to have a shot at this.
Okay, so Shivas, let's now talk about the weather conditions here. The conditions overall, were they all right on day 3? And are they going to be more or less the same as we head into the final day?
Well, I wish I could foresee the future, but, taking from what Rahul mentioned, the guys who are going to be the early starters will probably get a little better weather. It will not be quite as warm as it gets, right now as we stand under the shade.
Yeah.
We've very selectively and carefully chosen our spots.
Absolutely. I insisted on this.
Well done. So I think the early starters will have a bit of an advantage because wind conditions typically are a little benign in the early part of the day.
Right.
It'll be a little cooler. And also the greens, get a little quicker as the day wears on. The balls are also not received as softly. It's a bit more run out. So definitely course conditions will play a role. But then, of course, let's see how the wind gets up. We know it's going to be very hot out there. That's for sure.
All right. And Rahul, final word from you. Really, how do you look ahead to final day? Are there going to be any drastic changes in the leaderboard? What is your prediction?
I do certainly see that one of these three players who are on second, third, and fourth right now are going to try to, bring up some amount of extra heat on the course in the morning itself. So we are going to see interesting stuff happening on the golf course. And like I said earlier, golf has an interesting way. Whenever it comes to the last day of the tournament, there is always going to be some amount of fireworks that happen. There is going to be some interesting stuff that happens. And that's what makes the sport what it is. That's what makes entertainment. And that's where we are at. There's going to be masala, there is going to be drama. And that's what we are here to witness.
Well, in between masala and drama, there's going to be a lot of golf. And some sensational golf is what we are hoping to get on day 4 here at the Classic Golf and Country Club. For the moment, thank you so much, Rahul and Shivas, for joining us on this show. And of course, for our viewers, this is a wrap from day 3's action here at Classic Golf and Country Club. We will catch you again tomorrow for the final round of the DP World PGTI Players Championship. Until then, goodbye.